Good evening and welcome back to the National Aquatic Centre for the Day 4 finals of the Irish Open Championships for 2022. The finals due to take place in around half hour time at 5 p.m. But beforehand, we've got a little something special this evening, and we will be having the draw for the Clubs and Community Prize Draw that has taken place, or will be taking place, should I say, in a few seconds' time. So I'll be swinging it down to Adam Cox, that's poolside.
Good evening all, and welcome to tonight's Clubs and Community Prize Draw. My name is Adam Cox. I'm Head of Clubs and Community here at Swim Island. I'm joined here by Kevin Dowling, President of Swim Island, and Nikki Burke from Swim Kits. As many of you would be aware, over the last 4 months we've been running a prize draw to support and help the fundraising efforts of our clubs. We are pleased to say that we had 45 clubs engaged with the process, and we have them sharing across about €26,000 worth of fundraising across those clubs, which is great to see. So congratulations. We have also 26 clubs who managed to sell over 100 tickets, and they will be in the draw for the bonus €2,000 swim kit voucher sponsored by Nikki. Thank you very much on that, Nikki. So what we'll do is we'll start tonight's draw with the 10 individual prizes, and they're going to be drawn by Kevin Dowling, Swim Island President. So Kevin, we're going to kick straight off with tonight's proceedings. So the first prize, which is the big one, is a family adventure holiday worth €5,000 to New York. So Kevin, if you do the honours there.
And the first prize goes to Les Lennox from Cool Mine Swim Club. That's Les Lennox from Cool Mine Swim Club.
That's perfect, thanks Kevin. So we're going to jump straight on to second prize. So the second prize is a family break to Photo Island Resort.
And the second prize goes to Yvonne Moles from Trojan Swim Club. So congratulations, Yvonne, from Trojan Swim Club.
That's excellent. Sounds like we've got Yvonne on site here, so that's great. So we'll jump to third prize, Kevin, which is an iPhone 11. Dig deep in there.
And the iPhone 11 goes to Marion English from Castlebar Swim Club. That's Marion English from Castlebar Swimming Club.
Excellent. Marion will be pleased with that. So we're on to our fourth prize, which is a flat screen TV worth €500.
And the fourth prize goes to Elizabeth Cowman from Waterford Crystal Swimming Club. So that's Elizabeth Cowman from Waterford Crystal Swimming Club.
That's perfect. So we'll move on to the fifth prize, which is a 2-night hotel worth €250.
And another one going west. So this one goes to Helen O'Neill from Castlebar Swimming Club. So Helen O'Neill from Castlebar Swim Club.
That's perfect, thank Kevin. So on to our sixth prize, which is a Fitbit Versa.
And the Fitbit Versa goes to Mary Fishman from Trojan Swim Club. That's Marie Fishman from Trojan Swimming Club.
So another one on site by the sounds of it. So we have our seventh prize, which is a celebration hamper from Hampers & Co. So dig right in there, Kevin, get right down the bottom.
And this prize goes to Helen Houlihan from Trojan Swimming Club. So Helen Houlihan from Trojan Swim Club.
I say Trojan must have sold a lot of tickets there, I'd say. Perfect. So on to our eighth prize, which is a portable Bluetooth speaker.
And this prize goes to Christabel O'Loughlin from Coolmine Swimming Club. So Christabel O'Loughlin from Coolmine Swim Club.
Perfect. So we have our 9th and 10th prizes here. So if you want to draw out 2 this time, Kevin, they're €50 vouchers for the Sport Island campus.
So the €50 vouchers go to Yvonne Timms from Celtic Waves Swim Club. That's Yvonne Timms from Celtic Waves Swim Club. And the second one goes to Kay Fallon from Cormorant Swim Club. So Kay Fallon from Cormorant Swimming Club. Well done, Kay.
That's perfect, Kevin. So what we'll do now is we'll move on to the club draw. So that was for the clubs that had sold over 100 tickets, which we had 26. So Nikki, I'm going to get you as a sponsor to please pull out a club there from Kevin, and we can announce that. If you want to get that, pull that out and then hold it up to the camera so we can see.
So pick any card now, Nikki.
Very good. And the winner is Cormorant Swimming Club. Well done, Cormorant.
Excellent, Cormorant. So Cormorant's the winner of the 2000 swim kit voucher, which is great. So finally, just to wrap up, I want to say thanks to all the clubs and everyone that bought tickets. And it's great to see clubs getting some of the money there for funding and sponsorship. I want to thank Kevin Dowling, the president of Swim Island, for giving up the time to come in here, and Nikki Burke for the grateful sponsorship for the clubs. That's hugely appreciated. So thanks tonight, and good swimming with everyone tonight. So thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you to Adam there for the completion there of the clubs and community prize draw. A great initiative. Just going to have a small break and we'll be back to you in around 20 minutes time for the finals commencing, and myself and Nick will go through some of the big clashes we're due to see this evening. So join us again in around 20 minutes. Yes, welcome back to the Irish Open Championships of 2022. We have the Day 4 finals to look forward to this evening here in the National Aquatic Centre. Hope you did join us around 20 minutes ago for that club and community prize draw brought to you by Adam Cox. But we are back up now in the commentary box waiting for what should be another pulsating evening of action. We've seen records broken throughout this week and very fast swims as well, and you'd expect absolutely no different this evening as well. Andrew Blair White here, as I have been throughout the week, alongside Nick Quinn. And Nick, we've got another action-packed evening here.
Yeah, this evening's racing is a really exciting, some really exciting events and some really strong events for us as Irish swimmers. Like this at men's 200 free on the back of the Olympics. It's really inspiring when younger kids watch that 4x200 freestyle relay, breaking Irish senior records in the final of the European Championships, and then going to Olympics. It really gives them the encouragement that one day maybe I can be part of an international relay at the Olympics or World or European Championships. So that 4x200 or that 200 freestyle, which will select the 4x200 for the summer, is really exciting. And then I sound like a broken record, but that men's 200 breaststroke, you got Owen, Dara, and Oisin going head to head again. It's going to be really exciting. And the informed person, Danielle Hill, has got her 100 back roll, the event she qualified for the Olympics in. We might see something special in that. She's swimming in really good form, already breaking one Irish senior record, so who knows, that should be exciting to watch and see what she can do.
Yeah, it should be a great evening of action. Just to take you through what we have for you this evening, starting off with the women's 200 metre IM. We've got a B final, we have a junior final and a senior final. We then have the men's 200 metre freestyle, B, junior and senior. Then we move on to the backstroke, the 100 metre backstroke for the women, B, junior, senior, and then B, junior, senior for the men's 100 metre backstroke. Follow that up with the 200 metre butterfly for the women with a junior and senior final, the 200 metre breaststroke, as Nick alluded to, for the men with a B, junior and senior. And then we've an 800 metre freestyle for the women, a final heat, which should be a cracker as well. We're going to start off with the B final of the 200 metre IM, of which we've got Nicole Turner in lane 3 and we've got Amelia Urdy in lane 4. So just the two swimmers. Can sometimes be tough when there's not too many in the pool, but you'd have to think that the two of these are going to look to try and improve on those morning times. Amelia with a time of 2:31.30 this morning, Nicole 3:18.84.
Yeah, that's always the goal. It's these heats or finals when you're swimming on your own can be tough. I know Nicole has been swimming a couple of events on her own. She on the 50 fly on her own earlier on in the week, so she's maybe had a bit of experience of this, but that doesn't make it any easier. They'll both have their own targets in their head and looking to improve. I know Nicole is heading towards the World Para Championships this summer. She's achieved the minimum qualification standard, so this is all about process here, trying to nail that down, so come this summer she knows exactly what she's doing.
Now we've got the B final of the 200 metre IM, and as we have done throughout the week, we'll be handing you over to Andrew Bree, who is at pool deck.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Day 4 finals here at the NAC. Just kicking off tonight's races with the 200 medley. We have two swimmers in here, Nicole Turner and Amelia Urry. Turner from the NAC club based here at the National Aquatic Centre, and Urry based out of the Aurora facility up in Bangor. So it's Urry taking it out, 30.99. So she was at 2:31.3. She'll be hoping to go under that tonight. Look out for her strong breaststroke leg. So it's Urry coming through 75 metres now. Turner turns in a 42.20. She was a 3:18.84 from this morning's exciting prelims. So we've got some great racing coming up. We have the 200 freestyle. We got two breasts. We got some backstrokes, and then we have a timed 800 freestyle at the end. So that's Amelia turning in a 1:09.35. So a nice controlled 34 stroke rate there. She powers through the first 25 of this breaststroke leg in the 200 IM. Turner now making her way to the wall. She's going to hit the wall in a 136.45. Okay, 50 to go now for Amelia. She turns it a 154.28. .25 to go now for Amelia, cruising through in 2:13, so she can bring that home. She might just be over that 2:30. 2:31 this morning. 2:25 on the clock right now. Very, very close. Very similar splits and very similar outcome. Let's see what she hits the wall. 2:31.48, pretty much the exact same time as this morning. Good job, Amelia. She was 2:31.3, so very, very close. Turner at the far ends switches onto her freestyle in the 2:33.56 to close out her 200 IM campaign. Now 35 meters to go for Nicole. And as I mentioned, she was 3:18.84. Let's see if my stopwatch is still running. It is. So we can't see the big clock on the scoreboard, but we are now currently at 3:05. So she's got 15 seconds to make it in. So let's give her a round of applause if she gets under that 3:18.84. Every personal best is a personal best. It's going to be close. Yeah, 3:17.91. Good job, Nicole. So that's our opening 200 meters IM. We have the junior final next, followed by the A final. Look forward to some more fast swimming.
Two very good swims there from Amelia and Nicole Turner. Nicole going sub 3:18, which she will be delighted with. Amelia early, very similar to time to her prelim time this morning at 2:31.
I think that's really impressive from both girls. Nicole to go just sub what she went this morning, as we were talking about swimming that on her own, so going sub, considering that standard, and then Amelia going right on the same time. This morning she would have been in a race with the other girls in the heat, so to go the same time in tough circumstances and on your own is quite an impressive swim, and a good way for us to start the final session here on day 4.
Yeah, very much so, and we'll be moving on to the junior final, which should be just as action-packed. Plenty of these swimmers not within too far of each other on their prelim time, just a 5-6 second bracket between them. Good age difference as well, from 13 to 17 here in this junior final. We're seeing some brilliant opportunities for young swimmers. We were only saying just off camera there, we've seen an awful lot of these younger swimmers especially take on an awful lot of different events, and that idea of trying to almost find your niche. We've probably seen the more experienced members stick to what they obviously know, their specific races, but how important is it at a young age to keep kind of sampling new races and to make sure that you're not missing out on something?
Yeah, I think it's really important for junior swimmers, younger swimmers, to practice all their skills across all the different strokes, because at the end of the day there's a lot of similarities across the strokes. A key thing in swimming is understanding your body position in the water and understanding how you move through the water. So being able to practice that across a range of strokes and a range of events and a range of distances for these 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds is so important. It also just means that by the time they come to senior swimming, they have options. They can go down the freestyle, breaststroke, backhoe fly or M route. They're not already hemmed into one direction.
Very interesting to see how this junior final gets on. We have in lane 0 Antonia Seck from Sunday as well. In 1 is Lucy O'Brien from Limerick. 2 is Olivia Miskelly from Banbridge. Heather Fain in 3 from Dolphin. Megan Jones in 4th from Portmarnock. Eva Bailey in 5 for New Ross. 6 is Michelle O'Shea for Dolphin. Roisin Nireen in 7th from NCL. Darcy Walker in 8 for Banbridge. And Cara McCormack in 9 for Dolphin, furthest away from us. This should be a very good junior final. Megan Jones, the quickest prelim qualifier at 2:31.33, only just missing out on the senior final with that time as well. Just out to 2:38 being the other end of the spectrum there. So not much between all 10 of these. So keep your eyes on all the lanes. Well, it could be a close one here. It'll be interesting to see how many of these can try and improve on that morning swim here in the 200 metre IM junior final, which will lead us on nicely to the senior final in around 5 minutes time. Down to Andrew at poolside.
Okay, junior final now in the water. Megan Jones from Portmarnock. Fastest in, she is entered in a 2:31.33. Bumped into her and her coach Ann Burtis at the warm-up. I told her to go 2:28, so let's see if she listens. So Eva Bailey right beside her, new Ross swimmer, 2:32.5. And then on each side of them, we've got Fane on a 34, and we have O'Shea on a 34. So it should be pretty stacked up centre lanes, with the rest of the field drifting out to 35s. And the outside lanes on roughly on about a 38. But coming through the 50, it is Heather Fane from Dolphin, 31.31. I think she split that exactly the same time this morning. Jones, 32s, Bailey's 32s, very, very close here. Lanes 4, 5, and 3. 3, 4, and 5 all in the mix. That's Lucy O'Brien in the green cap off Limerick. She's just about fourth, having a good race. Closest over to me, lane number 7, that's Roisin Nidrian from Limerick. And here we go, race leader at halfway. Let's check that scoreboard, nearly fell in there. So 109.39, 109.7 for Jones. So that's Bailey leading, Jones second, Fane third in a 10. Then we branch out to 11, 12s and 13s. Nothing really between the rest of the field. It's breaststroke time. Let's see what Jones can pull through. So her best, 2:31.2. Let's see what she can do on this last length. Moving away from the rest of the field though with that strong breaststroke leg. Megan Jones from Portmarnock. She's approaching the flags now. 5 meters to go, final turn. Let's see what those dolphin kicks off this wall are like. And can she get up and get into the stroke? She's 1:52. 1:52. Let's see what she's going to do. She's looking at me here. I'm going to back down so she can concentrate. 1:54 for Bailey. Fane has dropped to fourth, and I completely missed third. I think it's Michelle. It could be Michelle O'Shea in 6. It's all very close, but no one's catching race leader. So what did I say? 2:28.5. She's got a few seconds to get in there. She might do it. Let's say 2:30 is a good barrier, folks. Put your hands together. 2:26. 2:26.31. Is that like a 4-second PB? I think it is. Eva Bailey also sub 2:30 on a 2:28.22. And then Heather Fane with a really strong freestyle leg. She was fourth on the last turn, and now she was a 2:30.96 to take the third. Nice job, Miss Jones.
Yeah, brilliant swim from Megan Jones. Takes 5 seconds off her morning time. 2:36.31 to take out the junior final. Eva Bailey, good improvement herself. 4 seconds off her morning time at 2:28.22. They'll be both delighted with that, but Megan Jones looked like a big PB there.
Yeah, we keep talking about moving that on from heats to finals, and like you said, a big PB there, big under that 2:30, big PB, almost 5 seconds, almost 5 seconds. That's a big drop from a morning to a final swim. So that's a really, really, really strong start for Megan there in that swim. She took control of that race from the breaststroke leg and then really held on and had a strong finish in the freestyle. In these junior medley races, you really can get to sense the strengths and weaknesses of these swimmers, whether it's the back crawl or the breaststroke, and you can see some changes in the lane or the placings at that stage. But when you get more senior and more international, you can't have a weak stroke in the IM. They all have to be strong once you get to that international stage. But these junior races are so exciting because you can see those changes. But Megan took control of that race early on the breaststroke leg, and she never let up.
Yeah, very much so. It was that breaststroke leg that she just managed to get that little bit of breathing space between herself and Bailey, who came home very strong on the freestyle in the last 50 and had been strong prior to that breaststroke leg as well. So that was probably the winning and losing of that race in that 50 metres.
Yeah, that breaststroke leg was by far the differentiator there in the medals. Megan just pulled away on that breaststroke, and although Eva was catching her slightly on that freestyle leg, there was just too much work to be done at that stage. So the win in the junior final was Megan's to lose at that stage.
Yeah, leads us on beautifully to the senior final of the 200 metre IM, which is going to be a an equally eventful affair, and we've seen plenty of these swimmers take up multiple engagements thus far this week. We've got Molly Main in there, we've Grace Davison in there, who we've seen plenty of. But starting off in lane 0 as they're coming out, Lara McAvoy from Aer Lingus. In lane 9 there is Hannah McCabry from Lurgan. In 1 is Isabel Kidney from Sunday's Well. In 8 is Beth Nolan from Sunday's Well. In 2 is Ciara Aiken from Ards. In 3 is Ava Jones from Portmarnock. In 3 is Julia Knox from Banbridge. In 6 is Naomi Trait from Kilkenny. In 5 is Grace Davison from Ards. And in 4 is Molly Main from Templeogue. So we've got a good disperse of talent here. Doesn't look like we have Hannah McCabry over in lane 9. Doesn't look like Hannah McCabry is going to go here in the 200 IM. So we're without a swimmer in lane 9, but should be a really interesting one, this. And Molly Main, she won a gold on the first day, a few silvers between then and now. Should be looking to add to that gold bracket.
For sure, and she had a really strong swim this morning, that 200 IM, so look for her to back that up here.
Yeah, should be a very good final, this. And we'll leave you off to Andrew Bray for the senior final.
Okay, here we go. Final underway. Fastest qualifier, Molly Main in lane number 4. She's entered on a 2:17.88. She dropped 4.3 seconds for that race this morning. So we're looking for a 29 low on this opening 50. 29.34 was her split from this morning, and as you can see, lane number 4 with a white cap and blue suit, she's going to go 28 high, I think, just around 29.5. Naomi Trait taking it out as well on a 29.92, and then in third, Julia Knox from Banbridge on a 30.79. So coming through now on the backstroke, halfway through, Main looking really controlled. So beside her, next qualifier is the Ards swimmer Grace Davison. She dropped some good time, secured her junior European time. It was a 2:20.9. She went 2:20.69 this morning. Been having a fantastic meet. So cruising through now, Main at halfway. We're looking 1:04 or better. She's 1:03.9. So in that kind of tempo and pace, she should be pulling another 2:16, 2:17 time. Can Davison pull back anything? She's a 1:05. Knox is a 1:06. And then we branch out to a few 9s and then 11s out on the sides. Knox having a really strong 50 breaststroke. They're all going to be splitting about 39, 40 seconds pace-wise per 50 on this breaststroke. And Main brought it home in a 33.1 this morning. So look out for that quick speed. But she's extended her lead just slightly. Davison's still in the mix. Here we go, folks. 1:44.08. She was 1:44.7 this morning, so she's already on pace. Let's see if she can bring it home sub 33 for a 2:17 or below. 2:17.88 was her time from this morning. Davison also looking good. Can Davison get under 2:20? That's the question. Knox is still in the fight. Knox was a 2:25, but she should be faster than that. So Main coming through. This could be another 2:16, 2:17 swim. Put your hands together, 2:16.59. Grace Davison, 2:18.88. Smashes that 2:20 from this morning. Nice job, Grace. And then coming in third, Julia Knox, a good 5 seconds from earlier as well. 2:20.59. That is your final 200 IM. Well done, swimmers.
Yeah, superb from Molly Main. She takes the 200 IM final in 2:16.59. What a fantastic swim that was, taking a second off her time this morning, and she was always in control.
Yeah, a really dominant performance there from Molly. She started off silver medalist in the 100 fly, so we knew she'd be able to go out and have that easy speed in the fly, but it never let up. None of all those girls in those top 3, Molly, Grace and Julia, would be good breaststrokers. Molly obviously a silver medal in the breaststroke. Grace was in the breaststroke final, and the breaststroke freestyle would be Julia's strong point of the IM. So none of them were real strong back crawlers, but Molly was able to pull away on that back crawl leg and then kept pulling away the breaststroke and able to hold off any and all challenges on the freestyle. So a really strong performance by Molly under the European Junior consideration standard. Again, another one to add to her list of consideration times. But a great swim by Grace, the 15-year-old from Ards as well. That's a consideration standard for the European Juniors and the European Youth Olympic Festival. She's only a 15-year-old, so to be qualifying and making those consideration standards for the juniors, which is up to 17 for girls, is really impressive. So brilliant swimming from the Ards swimmer there, Grace, as well in second place.
Yeah, and we've seen, as I alluded to before the race, we've seen the likes of Molly and Grace in an awful lot of different events this week, and the fact that they keep on producing, keep on bringing even better swims almost time and again is really very impressive.
Yeah, very impressive for sure. I think the big thing about swimming those back-to-back events within a session and then back-to-back days is that you take your learnings from day one and you keep carrying that momentum forward, and you become more comfortable in the arena. We've talked about racing at an event like this when all the senior athletes are around, so the more that these younger swimmers are exposed to that, the more comfortable and confident they become. So ultimately it's a great thing for them, and proving it by those girls swimming so well across multiple events and multiple days.
It moves us on to the 200 metre freestyle for the men's, for which we have a B junior and senior final. Starting off with the B final, which is hotly contested. Ollie Brennan in 2, Daniel Harvey 3, Nathan Whiffen in 4, Dara Morgan in 5, Michael Keogh in 6, and Finn O'Neill in 7. Nathan Whiffen by far the strongest prelim here at 1:58.10. Just missing out on the senior final. He's got a couple of seconds in hand on a few of these based off the times this morning. Interesting to see what happened in the B final.
Okay, so we should see a bit of a drop here from Nathan Whiffen. He was a 158.1 earlier on today. Now that doesn't really show his ability. He's been a lot faster, so I'm predicting he'll get down maybe 154, 155 if he can bring this tempo. Or not even tempo, if he can take out that early speed. Keep the tempo control, but take out that early speed. So we're looking 26 point. There we go, 27.2. So he's just going to be over that pace at the minute. At the 100, we're going to be around a 57, 58, I think. And then he's not looking for much of a drop off. But like I said, he's moving through now very nicely, coming through 75 meters in 40 seconds. It's Whiffen out by himself. Next fastest qualifier is Dara Morgan. He was a 2:03. And then we have Daniel Harvey on a 2:04 in lane 3. Pretty close between the rest of the guys. Whiffen's going to be turning now in a 1. No, not even a 1. 56.21. So that's not too bad. Right now he's still sitting on about a 154, 155 total time. Second over there is Ollie Brennan and Coolmine. And then Dara Morgan's dropped the 3rd for this first B final. We got a junior one coming up, and then we have the big final. The big final coming up. Jordan Sloan fastest in on that. So we're looking 125 or below. 125.96. So he's right on the mark for about a 154. Maybe a 154 mid. He's picking up that pace. Hoping to bring it home in a low 29, high 28. Nathan Whiffen. The Whiffen twins. Been a great addition. A great addition to the Irish structure over the last few years. Really come on loads. With his brother Daniel representing Ireland at the last Olympic Games. But let's see what he's got. It's 153, 154. He hits the wall. 155, 55. Why not stack up those 5s while you're there all the way through? Who's going to get second? That's anyone's game on second. Look how close that was. Another stack of 2s, 2:02.22 for Finn O'Neill. He came on the outside there in lane number 7. And then 3rd, 2:02.31. Just out touch the 2 outside lanes, making moves and getting into that 2nd and 3rd position. Good job, swimmers.
Yeah, Nathan Whiffen taking out the B final in 155.55, which was a very good swim. Probably would have gotten him to finish in the mid-division in the senior final with that sort of a time, and probably just goes to show you the strength of the senior final that a swimmer like Nathan Whiffen's in the B final here.
Exactly. Nathan, silver medalist in the 400 freestyle, gold medalist in the 200 back row, to find himself in the B final after this morning's heats of the 200 free. I'm sure he was maybe a little bit disappointed to be in that B final. You want to challenge yourself against the top guys, so being in that A final where you have the likes of the Jack McMillan, you have the likes of your Jordan Sloan, you have Finn McGee, you have all these real world class international 200 freestylers, you want to challenge yourself against them. So he'll be disappointed. He'll have been disappointed not to be in the final, but what a response to that by swimming at 1:55 on his own. We spoke about it's tough to do that, so a real positive return for him, dropping 3 seconds from this morning's swim. So great swim by Nathan, and moves us on to the junior final nicely.
Does indeed, which again will be hotly contested. We've got Aidan Cook in lane 0 here for the junior final. We've got Charlie Cassidy in lane 1, Cody Dunyan in lane 2, Thomas Leggett in lane 3, Adam Colgan in 4, Ben Riddle 5, Dennis O'Brien in 6, Ronan Fahy in 7, Gene Smith in 8, and Finlay Wright in 9. They'll be coming out in just a couple of seconds' time. Adam Colgan, the only one of these to record a sub 1:58 time this morning in 1:57.97, but Riddle and Thomas Leggett were right there at 1:58.07 and 1:58.18 respectively, and you'd like to hope with the competition of a final but behind all three of them that they could knock maybe a second or two more off those times.
Yeah, for sure. When you're in that final, and I think the junior finals are really special as well, because you're racing against people who are that same age as you, where it brings out that competition, because okay, this is someone who's on the same developmental path as I am, so you want to get that competition is even heightened, as opposed to racing with someone who might be 4, 5 or 6 years older than you. So these junior finals, as we've seen across the first couple of days, they can be really tight because of that, because all these people are relatively close in age. So it should be a good race here, and not only those guys, but the guys in outside lane are all very close. 0, 1, 8 and 9 are all very close to making that 2-minute barrier, and that's another one of those things that you want to get under, is you want to be swimming able to say, oh, I was sub 2 minutes of that 200 freestyle. So look for those guys in the outside lanes to have that in their minds as a target.
Yeah, everyone looking to just strive to get that little bit down, whether it's below 2 minutes, whether it's below 1:58, whether it's below 1:57. All different little goals and achievements for all of these to try and achieve. And Adam Colgan in lane 4. Going through them quickly again: Cook, Cassidy, Dunyan, Leggett, Colgan, Riddle, O'Brien, Fahy, Smith and Wright. Will be well contested, this, one would have to think, and will lead us up beautifully towards that senior final, which has a wealth of talent in it. You know, when a swimmer of the likes of Jack McMillan is in lane 1 for that senior final, it tells you all you need to know about the strength in depth in that race. But there's also strength in depth in this junior final. Be interesting to see who can come out on top and procure the important victory. We saw in the 200 IM Megan Jones, a super winner of the junior final, going 5 seconds below her PB. See what happens here.
All right. Here we go. Lane number 4, the Lisburn man, as fast as in. He qualified on a 1:57.97. Right beside him, Ben Riddle from Ards on a 1:58.07. This is going to be a nice race, folks. We're looking for 26s mid here on the first 50. Let's see what they come through in. 25 on the clock right now. Who's that over there? Cody Dunyan taking it out. Here we go. So Dunyan's out in the 26.6. He's the only one really on pace. Colgan's on a 26.9 by 0.3 slower than this morning. Riddle's in the mix. Who's that in that black cap? That's Thomas Leggett from Larne. All right, these are the 4 guys that are making a move. The rest of the field are slightly back. I'm only talking about a body and a half a length. But it is Cody Dunyan. He was in Swilly Seals. He's now in Ards. He turns. He's off the wall on a 56.31. He's still being pressured by Leggett right beside him on a 56.6. Riddle's in third on a 56.7. Then Colgan, fastest qualifier, on a 57. He's going to have to move on this third length. They're coming through nicely now. These guys are averaging 30-point mids. Let's see what happens. Riddle's looking pretty good. He's breathing every stroke to his left. He can't see where he's at. That might work to his advantage. Peter Hill screaming on his young charge Leggett. There's nothing between them, folks. This is going to be a good junior final. Riddle's in front. The Riddler's in front. 1:26.95. Can he hold on? I think Leggett's now making a move. Let's see if Adam Colgan can also close out this race. Will the Ards boys be able to hold on for at least one of the positions? But it's Leggett. Leggett's tying up. We're looking for a 157 or below. So it's Thomas Leggett for Lauren. Ladies and gentlemen, what a race. He brings it home, 156.41. Colgan moves up on that last length on a 156.96. And Ben Riddle from Orange holds on a 157.67. Nice junior final, gentlemen. Good job.
Yeah, very good job indeed from Thomas Leggett, 156. He gets down to, having been 158 this morning, to get it from Adam Colgan, who was back in 4th and 5th for the majority of that race and managed to finish extremely well for sub 157 himself. Ben Riddle in 3rd, Cody Junya in 4th. Some really good swims there, and Thomas Leggett taking it home in lane 3.
Brilliant job there by Thomas. And what a race. You could really feel the atmosphere. It was loud in here. The 4 guys were right neck and neck with 30 metres to go. So it was a really, really great race there. And Thomas Leggett just had enough to pull away the last 15-20 metres and get his hand on the wall. 156.41. Nice improvement from this morning's time. Those top 4 guys, it looked like they all moved their times on, which is, again, what you're looking for in these finals. Keep finding areas where you can improve and then go and execute them in your second swim.
Yeah, brings us on to that senior final that's been hotly anticipated, and if the heats were anything to go by this morning, this is going to be fast stuff and it's going to be very interesting stuff as well. Jack Fleming is going to come from lane 0, Jack McMillan from lane 1, Danny Morgan from 2, Robert Powell from 3, Jordan Sloan from 4, Finn McGeever from 5, Liam Custer from 6, Evan Bailey from 7, Matthew Walsh-Hussey from 8, and Conor Fitzgerald from 9. We've got some real stars here of Irish swimming, all taking each other on here. McMillan, Powell, Sloan, McGeever, Custer has broken 2 Irish junior records, should I say, this week already. There's an abundance of talent.
Absolutely. It doesn't get much better than this. And you've got Jack McMillan, the Irish senior record holder. He swam that time, that 146.6 at the Olympics last summer. He's in lane 1. Expect him to go a lot faster this evening. He was 147 a couple of weeks ago at a competition in Sheffield, so look for him to be in and around that mark. And then you've got Jordan and Finn. Jordan was a key member in getting that team qualified for that Tokyo Olympics, and Finn was actually on the team out in Tokyo, so look for them to be in and around that 150, going sub 150 barrier for that 200 freestyle. That'll be in their minds tonight. And then you can't forget about Robbie. He's been a key member, and he was on the 4x2 team at European or World Short Course before Christmas, so there's a wealth of international experience in this 200 freestyle, and I can't wait to watch it. It's actually great experience as well for the likes of Conor Fitzgerald and Evan Bailey, who are just juniors, to be in a final with stars like this. So what an experience for those guys, and they're having great meets in themselves. Both of them qualified for the European Juniors and Youth Olympics respectively, so what an experience for those guys. But I think you're going to watch out for the centre lanes, and then don't forget about Jack hitting lane 1.
Yeah, it might be the best chance we're going to see of a senior final being won by a swimmer in lane 1 all week. Got McMillan in there, but Powell swam very well this morning. He's in 3. Jordan Sloan, though, by far the quickest this morning by 2.5 seconds. He comes out of lane 4. Finn McGeever in 5. Custer, who's had such an impressive meet, in 6. Evan Bailey, an impressive meet in 7. It's just a wealth of talent here. It'll be just so interesting to see who can come out on top and get their hands on the 200 metre freestyle senior final. Hotly contested. Off to Andrew for the call.
All right, I've been looking forward to this one. Jordan Sloan fastest in lane number 4. He's entered in a 150.23. We're looking sub 25s if these guys are going to make any impact. But do not disregard lane number 1, Jack Chillin McMillan. He had that time trial this morning, so he took his 200 freestyle really easy. He's going to be coming forward, 24. Just over 25.1. He's the race leader. Second, Robbie Powell from NCD, 25.8. And then Sloan, 25.86. So these guys all need to be 53 or below. We've got a stack of Olympians. We've got Finn McGeever in the mix too. Look out for him in lane number 5 to see if he can back end it. All these guys looking to hold 27 or 28 lows per 50. But it is McMillan. 52? Yeah, why not? 52, 57. Powell now moved up the Poyles in second on a 53.8. Nothing between him and Sloan. And then McGeever's right behind Sloan. I'm talking 4/100ths of a second. Then the rest of the field out to Morgan and then Custer. But look at McMillan, ladies and gentlemen. That is pure freestyle swimming. He is huge lead on the rest of the field. He's going to be well under that 2:21 split. He's going to be an 18 or 19, just over 20.45. Sloan now, McGeever now coming through. Sloan's dropped back. McGeever's made a move, 1:22.4. Poyles right there. Sloan's stuck in the middle. He's not going to recover. McMillan, 20 meters to go. Let's see what he's going to go. It's going to be well under 150. What kind of time? 147, maybe 148? McMillan all the way home. It looks like a 48. 147.93 sneaks under. McGeever with a very impressive second 100. He's just over that 150 barrier. Robbie Poyle rounds out the top three and Sloan drops back to fourth, just 0.2 behind Poyle. Very impressive outside swim by McMillan. We knew it was coming from this morning. So 147.93 on the board. Good job, gentlemen.
Well, we did say it could happen. Jack McMillan in lane one, 147.93. Just 8 seconds quicker than we saw him this morning. We did say that he may have taken it a little bit handy this morning, and he's gone out and proven why he's got that Irish senior record and why he's one of the best in these 200 metre freestyles.
Yeah, just the 8-second drop from heats to finals there from Jack. Nothing major, nothing faces Jack, but that's a really, really strong swim for him. He's pre-qualified for Commonwealth Games and for the European Championships, so he's in heavy training right now. He's not rested for this, so to come here and swim a 147.9 is so impressive. That's just 1.3 off the time he did in Tokyo to break that Irish senior record. So brilliant swimming for him, and it's going to be really exciting watching him, see what he can do in the summer at the Commonwealth Games and also at the European Championships. And not to forget about those three boys in the middle. That was a real good race from Finn in second, Robbie in third, and Jordan in fourth. Those boys were pushing each other the whole way. I couldn't call it with 100 or at 100 or with 50 to go. I couldn't call who was going to get the win, but Finn did a really good job to pull it through on that last 50, get the touch in 150.4, and Robbie and Jordan were right behind him in 151.6 and 151.8. So strong swimming all around, and that men's 4x2 is going from strength to strength, and it'll be exciting to watch it develop as the next couple of years into Paris going forward.
Yeah, some really exciting talents on offer there, and as you well mentioned there, it was brilliant to see McGeever, Sloan and Powell really pushing each other on and bringing the likes of an Evan Bailey with them, who ended up coming fifth there over in lane 7 from New Ross, the 17-year-old. A brilliant swim. Swimming against these types of operators is always going to just bring you on and bring you forward, but Jack McMillan just showing his class here. 147, he was 155.87 this morning. This goes to show the gears he has, and to get that sub 148 time, it was one of those you almost knew 25 metres in that this was a completely different beast to what we saw this morning.
Yeah, definitely. I think you could tell 25 metres into this race that Jack was on it. He's out 25.1, 52.5 at 100. That is moving in a 100 metre freestyle, never mind the first 100 of a 200. So you knew he was going for it this evening, whereas this morning at 25 you could tell that he was just cruising his way, feeling his way through the first race of the meet for him. But you mentioned Evan Bailey in fifth there. That's another brilliant swim by him, and under the European Junior consideration time, another consideration time for him. So what an experience for a young 17 or 18-year-old to be in that final against the likes of Jack McMillan, against the likes of Jordan, Finn, and those guys who have competed at the highest level. So big swim by him, and one to watch out for the future for sure.
Yeah, definitely so. It's going to prompt a change in code for us, as we're going to have the 100 metre backstroke finals. We are going to have the women's 100 metre backstroke finals first, then we're going to have a little bit of a break for a few presentations and then move on to those men's backstroke finals. And we will start off with the B final for the women's, which they should be coming out any second now. Having just witnessed Jack McMillan take home gold in the senior final of the 200 metre freestyle. Finn McGeever in second, Robbie Powell, winner of the 400 back on Tuesday. A very admirable swim in third. Jordan Sloan, excellent in fourth as well. But moving on to the 100 metre backstroke final, The B final starting off. And in lane 0 is going to be Izzy McGrath. In lane 1 will be Heather Fain. In 2 will be Neva Hearn. In 3 will be Bethy Firth. 4 will be Naomi Trace. In 5 will be Molly Nolte. In 6 will be Beth Nolan. In 7 will be Leah Martin. In 8 will be Antonia Sech. And in 9 is Alicia Deasy.
These women will just be looking to improve on their morning heat swims, improve on their times, get them down as fast as they can do and get into a good race. And as we've spoken about, that adrenaline of a final of an evening swim, use that to their advantage to try and improve on those entry times or those seed times from the heats this morning, and maybe even get some PBs thrown in there as well.
A good opportunity for all of these women to try and, as you say, better those preliminary times. Naomi Trait, the quickest this morning of this bunch, in 107.84 in lane 4, the 19-year-old from Kilkenny. Molly Nolte right beside her was 108.45 as well. So they'll be looking to spur each other on. A couple of these swimmers trying to get down sub 110, sub 111. So it'll be interesting to see the progress that they can all make here in the 100-metre backstroke final, the B final to start off. And we'll be handing you over to Andrew down at the pool.
Okay, here we go. B final underway. Women's 100-metre backstroke. We've got these 3 races coming up, and then we have a little break for medals. And then we're back into the men's 100 backstroke. So here we go, coming through halfway now in about a 14 mid. Very, very close. Traits fastest in. So they need to be out 32, I'm going to say 32 point, maybe 32 lows. I think they were 32 sevens earlier. So in order to get under 67, they have to be out at that pace. Okay, good. They're about 0.6 up from this morning. Trait coming through, 32.1. Nice swim out in lane number, oh, they're very close, 32.3 to 32.5. It's the 3 of them in the middle. I thought we had someone out on the outside, but it's all through. It's Trait. Look at Trait. Tell you what though, lane number 3 is not holding back. Bethany Firth from Ards, experienced backstroker and Paralympic champion as well. And it could be Trait, it could be Firth. I'm not even going to call it. We got 5 seconds to go. They're definitely going to be in and around 106, 107s. 106.71. Trait wins it. 106.71. Firth in second on a 107.1. And then Molly Nolte from Swilly Seals in Donegal on a 107.75. That's your first 3. And then the rest branch out to 9s. And then a stack of 11s. Good job, backstrokers.
Yeah, excellent from Naomi Trait. 106.71 beats Bethy Firth and Molly Nolte into second and third. All 3 of them improving drastically on this morning's times as well. And Naomi Trait really in that last 25 metres really saw it out pretty gamely in the end there.
Yeah, for sure. I thought Bethany have it from more angle up here. It looked like she was ahead, but Naomi was really surged on those last couple of metres and really nailed that finish to get that touch over Bethany Firth of Ards. So really great swimming from both them. Really tight finish between the top 3 girls actually. 106.71, 107.14 for Bethany Firth, and then 107.75 for Molly Nolte. So really good swimming, and as you said, an improvement from the heats, which is what you're looking for.
Moves us on to the junior final, which should be an excellent event here. In lane 0 is Louisa Humphreys. In lane 1 is Roisin Lawless. In 2 is Namone Rogers. In 3 is Shannon Byrne. In 4, the fastest qualifier this morning, Lauren Farr. 5 is Grace Conroy. In 6 is Roisin Nireen. 7 is Zofia Quigley. 8 is Isla Henry. And in 9 is Mia Mulholland. As I say, Lauren Farr, the only one of these swimmers to have gone sub 108 this morning. But as we saw in that B final, 3 of them improving drastically on the morning swims. And it would be of no surprise to see similar happen here in the junior final of the 100 back.
Junior final under the way. Fastest qualifier, Lauren Farr from Sunday's Well, 107.75. So once again, they're going to have to be 32 points, 32 lows coming through again, 14 high on that 25. We got the backstroke fastest qualifier in. Let's see who's also there. Mount Kelly swimmer Grace Conroy in a 108, and then we move out to 109s in lane 3 for Byrne and 6 for New Ryan. But it's going to be a 31-point high, maybe. No, just under 32.4. So she's on pace if she can bring it home. Round about a 35 seconds, and she will have her 107 time. No doubt about it. Who's taking this one, though? Through the 75 in 48 seconds. Your race leader from the start, Lauren Farr. Anyone's game for third, to be honest. We're having a few really close arm swings there, but it's going to be lane 4 for the win. She's probably going to be a 107 low, and then lane 3 for second. It is 107.4 for Farr. She wins it. Byrne from Bangor second at a 104.86, and then Limerick swimmer Roisin in Iran on a 108.46. But look how close that was from third all the way down to 6th, 7th. Very close with 8s stacked up.
Yeah, win for Lauren Farr in the junior final at 107.48, bringing Shannon Byrne sub 108 as well in the process, 107.86, and Roisin Ureen and Namone Rogers very close for third in behind. Isla Henry right there as well, as was Grace Conroy, all of them going sub 109, and plenty of improvements on morning swims as well.
Yeah, some fast swimming there, as you said, improving from this morning swim. Roisin Ureen in third there. She's literally fresh out of the pool from the 200 IM, so as we spoke about earlier, those junior swimmers, she was at a debut at the Paralympics last summer, so to get up and swim back-to-back races for Roisin is really impressive. To get that third place in that junior final is really good, alongside Lauren Farr from Limerick in first, and then Shannon Byrne from Bangor with a huge improvement for her time to get that silver position in the junior final, which leads us in really nicely into this senior final, where all eyes will be on Danielle Hill after breaking Irish senior record in the 100 freestyle last night and Irish meet open record in the 50 fly last night. So who knows, maybe we might see a second Irish senior record in the 100 back from Danielle. It's set at a 60.18, which she did in June last year to qualify for the Olympics. So this is one of her main events, so it'll be really interesting to see how she gets on here.
Yeah, this is the 100-meter backstroke for the women's, and we're going to have a look through the card as you see it on your screens there. In lane 0 is Rebecca Lowe, the 20-year-old from UCD. In 1 will be Cora Rooney, 17 years of age, from Enniskillen. Lottie Cullen in 2 from Swim Belfast. In 3 is Florence Tinsley from Ards. In 4 is Maria Godden from NCL. Danielle Hill is in 5. Jenna McDougall from UCD in 6. Niamh Pootney in 7 from Ards. Leah Bailey in 8 from New Ross, and Aoife Doran in 9 from Aer Lingus. We saw Danielle Hill become the first Irish women swimmer to swim sub 55 in the freestyle. Can she be the first one to swim sub a minute in the back?
I think she can, and if she does that is really breaking barriers. Swimming sub 60 the day after swimming sub 55 for the 100 freestyle would be really impressive swimming. So this should really be an exciting one. Danielle, as she comes out, she doesn't have her hat on just yet. She likes to put that on at the last second to make sure that her goggles are secure. So she's going through her processes now and will have everything in her head the way she wants to go, and expect to see a drop from her from that 103.34 time she did in the heats this morning.
It's a great setup she has here as well, with Godden on one side, McDougall on the other side as well. The three of them could get racing each other and almost bring each other on. Yeah,
absolutely. Maria was second in that 200 back call earlier on in the meet, where Danielle won the gold. So Danielle is definitely the favourite, but at the same time she won't have it all her own way, which is a good thing.
Yeah, very much so. This could be an absolute cracker here. Maria Godden in 4, Danielle Hill in 5, McDougall in 6, Tinsley in 3. You'd think that it's going to be surrounding those lanes from 3 to 6. Danielle Hill in 5 though. Could she possibly break another Irish senior record?
A final underwater dolphin kicking right now. Here we go. So the fastest qualifier in lane number 4 is Maria Godden. She was a 103.28, but expect pressure from the Lawrence swimmer Danielle Hill. She was a 103, but she looked pretty chilled coming through 35 meters now. just under 20 seconds. It's Hill taking the lead. We kind of knew she would. She went 54.8 in the 100 free. This is just like freestyle, but on your back. She's going to turn under, yep, 29.61 for Hill. Second place is Godden. Godden will come back hard. And then Lottie Cullen from Swim Belfast on a 30.2. Godden's looking pretty good, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. They're coming through in about 43 seconds there. Danielle Hill looking really, really strong, well rested and ready to go. So it looks like she's going to win. It's going to be well under the fastest qualifying time of 103. She's going to be around 101, 1 minute, 0.87. Nice swim for this time of the year. Godden comes in just over her morning swim on a 103.3. And then Lottie Cullen from Swim Belfast rounds out the top three on a 103.93. But there you go, right on the minute mark for Hill. Another impressive swim at the Irish Championships.
Not quite an Irish senior record this evening for Danielle Hill, but yet another gold. A minute 87, a very impressive swim at that. Maria Godden, 103.36 in behind, very impressive, and a fantastic swim from Lottie Cullen in lane 2 from Swim Belfast, improving 2 seconds on her morning time to get a bronze medal.
Yeah, brilliant swimming. Not an Irish senior record for Danielle, but you can't break Irish senior records every day, so that was still a really impressive performance for Danielle. I think what you sometimes forget when someone is in such great form like Danielle, she's breaking Irish senior records, she's breaking meet records. You kind of forget that 60.18 that Danielle did last year to make the Olympics was a massive swim. It was a huge, huge swim for her, so it's really hard to get back and improve that, especially when, as she said herself, this isn't the focus. She's pre-qualified for the summer meets at Commonwealth Games in Birmingham and the European Championships in Rome, so they're the real focus. So it is difficult to back up an event when you did so well in it last year to come in and do the same again. So I think a 60.8 for Danielle is a really strong performance. And Maria Godden, second silver after that 200 back roll. One of the earlier days is a great swim from her, but Lottie Cullen from one of the outside lanes, she took the race out hard. First 15-25 metres, I was like, oh, we have an outside lane going here. So really strong performance from Lottie, dropping almost 2 seconds from her heat time. So great swimming from those girls.
Yeah, not on your screen at the moment, but I think Danielle Hill may be feeling the effects of what's been a long week, and I know she's competed an awful lot. She's breaking records here, and given where she is in her training programme, I was speaking to her last night after swimming. I think this has gone above expectations the last few days. Yeah,
that 100 freestyle and the 50 fly and swimming a 200 back roll, which is an event she's not really that used to swimming or frequently swims. So she's had a really busy meet, and it's no surprise that it's taken a toll. The mental and the physical demands of racing are really, really tough. So she's doing a really good job to manage her energy and make sure she's staying in all of these meets and picking up, I don't know, is that her 4th or her 5th gold medal? It's a really, really strong performance from Danielle. Looking at her splits from her race, 29.6 and 31.2, and comparing them to her Irish senior record, it's 28.7 and 31.2. That back end 50 was really, really strong from Danielle, which is really positive because she's more known as a sprinter. So to have that aerobic capacity on the back end is really strong, and that front end will come with a bit of rest coming into the summer. So really looking forward to what she can do over the next couple of months.
Yeah, very much so. And as you can see on your camera here, we're fixed on the presentation area, and we're going to get our first presentations of the evening, starting off with the 200 metre IM for the women, which was won extremely impressively by Molly Main. But first of all, it will be Julia Knox collecting her bronze medal. Grace Davison will be collecting a well-deserved silver medal, and Molly Main, who won on the first day of this Open, she's had to settle for a few seconds since then. She gets herself back on the winning thread on this occasion.
Grace has been having an amazing meet so far, been swimming lots of events, lots of different events, all the IMs, some freestyle, some breaststroke, and she's met a lot of European junior and youth. No, she's met a European junior and a lot of youth Olympic qualification times. So brilliant swimming from her, and also from Molly Main collecting her gold medal. She's been one of the real standouts from a junior perspective at this meet. As you mentioned, lots of events. Her name always appears to be on the list. So she's swimming lots of things and lots of PBs and swimming really well. That was a really strong 200 IM for her to get the win there.
Getting their deserved moment on the podium, all three of those girls. As you say, all three have had extremely productive weeks thus far, still with a day to go. We'll be also having the presentations of the men's 200 metre freestyle, which, if you've only just joined us, was won by Jack McMillan in extremely impressive style in a 1:47 time, going 8 seconds quicker than his heat time this morning in the process as well. Be joined up there by Finn McGeever, who was second, Robert Powell, who was third, and just thinking back, it really was a super race. You obviously had McMillan almost away from the action in lane 1, with the other three in 3, 4 and 5 being Powell, Sloan and McGeever, but it was a fascinating race to watch.
Yeah, it really was. Jack being out in lane 1, he was almost in a race on his own, just kind of doing his own thing, and then the three boys in the middle, as you mentioned, Robbie obviously getting the bronze, Finn getting the silver, but also Jordan, who was right there with them the whole way. We're in a race, a real battle between the three of them, and in actual fact it was those 4 boys, so Jack, Robbie and Finn and Jordan, who were part of the world short course team before Christmas, the world team that were in the final in the 4x2. So real world class athletes here, and a real world class performance by Jack. It's always a privilege to watch him swim. He's technically so good. He's got a brilliant high elbow catch and looks so smooth and almost effortless in the water, but I definitely think there's a lot of effort going into it, but he makes it look easy.
Very much so. He has a very fluent way of swimming, and we're going to move on after these presentation photos have taken place to the 100 metre men's backstroke. Then after that we've got the 200 metre women's butterfly, the 200 metre breaststroke, which should be a super race, and the 800 metre women's freestyle to finish off proceedings. A couple of presentations will be in amongst it there as well. But we should be moving on to the 100 metre backstroke soon, where we have a B final, a junior final and a senior final for the men, all very well represented, 10 swimmers apiece. And again, trying to get as many swimmers to go sub their prelim time this morning. These B finals and junior finals just as important, and we've seen especially younger swimmers, both men and boys and girls, men and women, improve on those times in these B finals and junior finals. And how important is it for them to get that second swim on a day in their event? You know, because potentially sometimes you can go to a heat, you can underperform for whatever reason that might be. I suppose in some events that means your day is over, but the fact that you can come back and almost right or wrong, or to try and improve on a time in a B final or a junior final, must be of great satisfaction and a great chance for an awful lot of these swimmers to, as I say, to maybe correct something they were disappointed with in the morning.
Absolutely. I think when you consider the circumstances of where we found ourselves in the last couple of years, where a lot of competitions have been behind closed doors, so a lot of these junior swimmers especially, and some of the, actually not even just the junior swimmers, a lot of the senior swimmers, for a long time it was only the national team members who were able to come to competitions. So now that we're back and we're at an Irish Open Championships for the first time in 3 years, and a lot of people are invited, giving them the opportunity to get that race exposure again, that chance. Okay, for a lot of these people who don't train here at the NAC or in Limerick or in Bangor where the 50 metre pools are, this might be the first time they've raced 50 metres in a long time. So giving them that exposure to go swim their event in the heats, and they might learn so much and come back, and that's sometimes why you see such a drop from heats to finals. So I think given the opportunities for junior swimmers and some of the senior swimmers who haven't had that much experience over the last couple of years is really important, and that's why we're seeing a lot of improvement from heats to finals, I think.
And before the B final, we're going to have Barry Clements.
So Barry, I think this is one of Barry's events that he can qualify for the Commonwealth Games, for the Paralympics, or not Paralympics, as a para-athlete. This is one of his events in his classification that he can swim at the Commonwealth Games. So he's getting an opportunity here to do a time trial or a race in a final session to see if he can poster qualification time that would secure him that spot in the 100 back crawl at the Commonwealth Games.
And we've seen him already this week swim by himself. Still mustn't get any easier, that process though, especially in such a big arena.
Yeah, I think it is difficult because when he goes to the Para World Championships, because he's pre-qualified, he'll be in a real competition. So it actually, although he's done it a few times at this meet, it probably makes it even more difficult then when he goes in and he's in a competition against all his competitors at Commonwealth Games or at Para World Championships. So it's challenging both ways.
All right, so it's Barry McClemens versus the clock on this one. No one else in this race. We got his time from earlier. We don't have a time actually. Maybe I'll check in with the odds guys and see what his best is. Coming through 25 9 of 15 high, looking pretty good. So very accomplished swimmer Clemens. Training out of the Ards Swim Club there, just up in North Down. He's going to hit this first wall. Let's see what he goes. Just over 31 high, maybe. 31, just over 32.26. That's quite nice. He should be, based off that, he should be maybe a 106, 107 if he can bring that home. Tempo's looking really good. So he's a good 40 rate on that tempo. All right, Clemens now coming into the wall. He's just going to be near his best. 106, 107. 107 on the dot. Nice job, Barry. Not easy being out there by yourself. Good job. We got a B final, junior final, and A final. 100 guys. Backstroke coming up next.
Very great swim from Barry McClemens. 107 flat. And to do that by yourself in this sort of arena is a pretty good effort.
Yeah, that's a 0.8 of an improvement from this morning, so another strong swim by Barry. I think for the qualification criteria for the para swimming at the Commonwealth Games, it's your ranking versus all your Commonwealth Games competitors, so it really is all about swimming as fast as you can, getting that ranking as low as possible, and hopefully then you'll get the invitation to go and compete at the Commonwealth Games. So I think that was a strong performance by Barry, improving on his heat time, and he's been busy as well. He's been in a lot of races, so I'm sure he's tired, but that was a strong performance.
Was indeed. As you say, he's keeping himself busy throughout this week, as we've seen with plenty of these para-athletes. It's great to see. And that will move us on to the B final of the 100 metre backstroke, which is going to be back to the full complement of 10. And in lane 0 is going to be Noah Switzer. In 1 is Jack McGann. In 2 is Ewan McLeod. 3 is Conor McMenamin, 4 is Rory Lee, 5 is Adam Geddes, 6 Daniel Mulholland, 7 Harry Winston, 8 is Adrian Wong, and 9 is Dmitry Zykov. Rory Lee, the fastest qualifier here at 102.12. Adam Geddes is there at 102.30 as well. Mulholland and McMenamin sub 104 as well, but again, as we've seen in so many of these types of finals, not an awful lot between these.
No, definitely not, especially between some of those middle lanes. So in these B finals, talking about that experience or that race exposure, people can get big drops. We've seen big drops. I know we were joking about Jack's 8-second drop this morning. Maybe you won't quite see a drop like that, but you can see drops in these finals. So these men will all have their processes in their minds and just go in and try and execute. And the other part that we haven't spoken about is just enjoying the race. Getting in, that's a huge component of it as well, is focusing on your thing, but also allowing your excitement to build and the atmosphere to heighten your kind of senses so that you're really ready to go once you start, and then just enjoying the process from there.
Yes, exactly. Got to be in it for the reasons and the moments such as this. For an awful lot of these swimmers to have been swimming day in, day out in their local clubs, local pools, get an opportunity to represent not only yourself but your club on this stage must be a really proud moment.
Yeah, for sure it is. It's always swimming's a tough sport. You could be in the water 10 times a week, up to 20 hours a week, plus gym work. For a race that like this lasts just a minute long. So it's a lot of work for a very short time. So that's why you really have to enjoy these racing opportunities when they come along and really just seize them and learn from them and keep bringing it forward, but enjoying them is a huge part of the process, because swimming is far too difficult of a sport to be doing unless you're enjoying the racing.
Exactly, and we've fingers crossed all of these men are doing so in the B final of the 100 metre men's backstroke. I'll be handing you over to Andrew when they set off. They're just being allowed into the pool now to get on their starting blocks for the B final, which will be closely followed by the junior and senior finals of the same event.
All right, B final in the water now, fastest in Sunday's well swimmer. Nice start there, 0.57 reaction time. Rory Lee. So he was out in 29.57 this morning. He's dropped slightly back. Look out for lane number 3 there, Ewan McLeod. I think he took it out hard this morning as well, the ESB man. He might have a different tactic tonight. So it's going to be lane number 2 taking this out, maybe a 29 low. 29.19. Lee still in the mix on a 29.62, and then we've got Adam Geddes coming through on a 29.7. So based on that, these boys need to be home 32 mid or below to get anywhere near that 101 world. What's going to happen now as we approach the last 16, 17 meters of this 100 meter backstroke? It looks like it's going to be lane number 5. He's pulling nicely. Adam Geddes. Geddes was a 102.3 this morning. He's going to smash that on the finish. Anyone's finish. Look how close that was at the end. It's actually McLeod from ESB. He led from the start, 101.47. He smashed that time from this morning. He was cruising this morning on a 104. So 101.47, 4/100ths of a second. It was right on that last stroke. Adam Geddes 101.5, and then Rory Lee coming through in a 102.68.
Yeah, huge swim from the 17-year-old Ewan McLeod. He's pinched that one at the death. It looked for all money like Adam Geddes was home and hosed there for the last 25-30 metres, but right on the touch, McLeod gets there at 101.47, improves on that morning time by 3 seconds, and Adam Geddes, who also improved on his morning time by a second in 101.51, just gets beaten to it.
Yeah, for sure. That's a 3-second drop from heats to finals for Ewan McLeod. It's just what we're talking about, getting that experience of racing, but brilliant from an outside lane, or almost an outside lane in 2 to do that. He really led the race really strong. He was first at 50, but as you said, I thought Adam Geddes had taken over control of the race with 30 metres to go, and he swam past us here where we're standing, and it was pretty clear that Adam had the lead, but a late surge just saw the lead change hands, and really great swimming from the man from ESB there to drop 3 seconds from his prelims times, from his heat time. So a really strong junior final to move us along, or really strong B final to move us along into the junior final now.
Indeed, very good finish to that B final with Ewan McLeod taking it from Adam Geddes. As we say, Nick, moving us on nicely to the junior final, which again could go to any one of 10 here. No more than 2.5 seconds between all of these on entry times, and you can only see there from case in point of an outside lane, lane 2, improving 3 seconds, and again, if we have another 2 or 3 second improver in this lineup, they're right in the mix.
Yeah, when these guys are so close together after the heats, any sort of a drop can really put you in the mix and can really change up the order from what's on paper. So that's really almost a confidence booster for the guys who are in these finals and who might be in those outside lanes. Be like, look, if I can actually improve on the few things that I've highlighted from my heat swims and make that drop, then there's every chance that I can get in and around that top 3 of this junior final. So watching, I think that especially when you watch other swims and you see other people doing that from outside lanes, it even just adds to your senses of like, oh wow, maybe I can do that. And also maybe it puts the guys who on paper are in those middle lanes, oh, I better watch out for these outside lanes and not just be focused on lanes 3, 4 and 5 as well. So it makes everything really interesting and exciting. So it's great to see when something like makes a big drop like that.
Now we're moving on to the junior final now, as we mentioned, and Christopher Mason is in lane 0. In 1 is Michael Keogh, in 2 is Emmett Cousins, in 3 is Evan Coulter, in 4 is Matthew Walsh-Hussey, in 5 is Senna Noonan, in 6 is Adam Colgan, 7 Aidan Cook, 8 Adam Mahan, and 9 is David Powell. So Matthew Walsh-Hussey, the quickest of these at 1:01.84, the only one to be sub 1:02 this morning. Well, very close in behind him here, and he's going to have to swim every inch to that if he's going to take out this junior final. You sense there may be a few lurkers in this that may improve on those morning swims, and if they do so, it's going to get very close very quickly. Walsh-Hussey is in 4 from the home club NAC. The junior final of the 100-metre backstroke will be going back down to Andrew at poolside.
Okay, here we go. Junior final now in the water. Walsh-Hussey fastest in. Very similar to the race before, kind of stacked up in the 101s, 102s and those centre lanes. Then we branch out the 4s all the way through. Very, very close. 3s and 4s all the way out on the outsides. But here we go. Coming through now, 35 metres. It's just about Walsh-Hussey in lane number 4 with the white cap representing the NAC. Right beside him is Evan Coulter from Larne in the black cap. It's all going to be very close. There's 3 of them there in the mix, and the rest of the field are right beside each other. Let's see where he pops up. Maybe at about 8-9 metres. Not bad. He just took a little bit of distance off Walsh-Hussey there. Coming through now. So 1:01.84 for the 18-year-old. That's what he went this morning. He was out in a 30.2, back in a 31. Very evenly split. 5 seconds to go for that minute barrier. He's just going to be slightly over. It's anyone's reach for second. And he's a 1:00.92. Second, Evan Coulter, he was second at the 50. He held on 1:01.73. And then Sean Noonan on the Aer Lingus swim team on a 1:02.03. There's your top 3 junior final. Big final coming up next.
On this occasion, the junior final does go to the form book. Matthew Walsh-Hussey takes it out at sub 1:01, 1:92. Evan Coulter 1:01.73. Senan Noonan 1:02.03. Lane 4 beating lane 3 and 5. And Walsh-Hussey, a very strong swim there. A little bit of an improvement on this morning and gets him down sub 1:01 most importantly.
Yeah, almost a second taken off from his morning swim. I actually was just thinking as he started off, he had a tough double this morning. He had the 200 freestyle just before that 100 back, so he didn't swim the 200 freestyle final, so he had a fresh swim coming into that evening swim of the 100 back, and that allowed him to take off 0.8 or 0.9 of a second. So good strong swim from Matthew Walsh-Hussey to take the win in that junior final.
Brings us on to the biggie, the 100-metre senior final here. Conor Ferguson in there, a prelim time of 55.53. This morning he holds the Irish junior record in this event at 54.38. Shane Ryan obviously the Irish senior record at 53.73. Don't think those records are in danger this evening, but Conor Ferguson and Paddy Johnson both were swimming very quick this morning, and you'd have to think there was a little bit more to come from both of them.
Yeah, you'd think so. Both of them, as you said, swimming strong, solid performances for the morning swims, and Conor's not raced a huge amount. He raced the 100 freestyle heats on day 2, but other than that he's not raced a little bit, so he's just maybe feeling his way into the meet and looking for a strong solid performance in this 100 back crawl here. This is one of his preferred events along with the 50 back crawl, but qualification for the Commonwealth Games and the European Championships is not there in the 50 back crawl, so this is his opportunity to qualify. He'll be looking to be part of those teams and be part of those medley relays potentially for the Commonwealth Games Birmingham this summer. But can't forget about Paddy Johnson. He's had on the opposite spectrum from Conor, who's not raced very much. Paddy's been busy at gold in that 200 fly, gold in the 50 back, and silver in the 100 fly as well. So backstroke is Paddy's second stroke, but he's obviously a really talented swimmer in that as well. So it will be a good race here, and see if both of those guys can drop time from this morning.
Yeah, they're just coming out from the call room here for the senior final. In lane 0, it's going to be closest to us is Neddy Irwin. In lane 8, as you see coming out there, is Callum Ashton from UCD. At lane 9, was Aaron Keating, we just missed him. Bryden Byrne in at lane 1. In lane 7 is Luke Lonergan, also from UCD, so the UCD teammates right beside each other. In lane 2 is Brandon Biss from Swim Belfast. In lane 6 is John Short, the 15-year-old, posted a big time this morning, sub-up minute at 59.17. Adam Barnes is in 58.3 from Ard, 17 years of age, 58.53 this morning. And then the two we've been talking about, Paddy Johnson from Ards in lane 5, 56.78 this morning, and Conor Ferguson from NCU in lane 4 at 55.53 in here. The likes of Adam Barnes, John Short, though, youngsters again getting that opportunity to swim against some of the best in this division, and I thought especially John Short, for 15 years of age, put in a big swim in the heats this morning.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for someone like John, a 15-year-old, to get in amongst this final and really have a good crack. He's right in there, the mix beside Paddy Johnson, so he'll be right in there in the centre lanes in lane 6, so he's right in there in the mix, and he actually picked up a bronze in the 50 back, so he's definitely one to watch out for here alongside Paddy and Conor.
Certainly, but Conor Ferguson in 4, Paddy Johnson in 5. You'd have to think it'll come between one of the two of them. Down to Andrew for the final.
Okay, big final, A final, men's 100-meter backstroke. Look at the breakouts right on that 15. Beautiful work by the two centre lanes. That's Ferguson and Johnson. So Ferguson was a 55.5, Johnson was a 56.7. But in any world, these guys gotta be sub 26 mids. They gotta be 26 lows at this wall. Let's see what they turn in. It's slightly ahead as Ferguson. Johnson's not letting them go though. Yeah, okay, we're a wee bit over. Those times are slightly messed up. I don't think Nettie Erman was a 22 out on a first 50 back, but it's Ferguson coming through now. He's still just around sub 30. He's making a move. So 55.5 was his time this morning, but it's Ferguson. Johnson, a tight second. He's throwing it down, but I think Ferguson's going to come through. 5 meters to go, though all the clock is different. Can't see. I've got it on my manual. 54.9 maybe. 55.40. My manual watch slightly faster, so Ferguson wins it on a 55.4. Paddy Johnson coming through for Ards on a 56.26. And then we're his third up there, 57.96 by the young Adam Barnes, also representing Ards over in lane 3. Good job, swimmers.
Yeah, another very strong swim from Conor Ferguson takes home the 100-meter backstroke gold at 55.4. A little improvement on this morning. Improvements all round. Paddy Johnson in second, Adam Barnes in third, John Short just missing out on the medals, but another second taken off his time from this morning down into 58 territory, which he'll be delighted about, I suspect. But Conor Ferguson very solid and was never really in doubt there.
Yeah, Conor's got an awful lot of natural speed. He's really good at that 50 back roll. So when they touched at 50, it was Conor and Paddy were within 0.1 of a second. I was quite surprised to see that, but then Conor's class just showed in that second 50. He came off that wall, had really strong underwaters, and just pulled away from Paddy. You can't forget that this isn't Paddy's main event. That 200 fly and that 100 fly that we've already seen him racing there, Paddy's focus. So this is a secondary event for him. So it was a really strong performance for him to improve so much from this morning's swim, and Conor is right in on what he did this morning as well. So strong swimming all around. And as you said, those two junior boys, Adam Barnes in third place from Ards, 17-year-old, really strong performance from him, and John Short, the 15-year-old from Bluefin, just dropping another second and getting in and racing those senior athletes is just invaluable experience for a swimmer like him.
Yeah, very much so, and the two of them will be very impressed with those efforts getting down below the next time barrier. Barnes under 58, Short under 59. A nice way to finish up the 100-meter backstroke final, going to Conor Ferguson from Paddy Johnson and Adam Barnes. Moves us on. We've got 3 more events to cover this evening, and it's going to be the 200-meter women's butterfly to come first, and we're going to have the junior final. Just the 5 swimmers in the junior final. In lane 3 is Eva Hand, in 4 is Lucy O'Brien, in 5 is Georgina Walker, in 6 is Beth Catney, and in 8 is Jessica Gannon. It was Lucy O'Brien the earliest time at 2:42.18 this morning. Jessica Gannon's right there at 2:42 as well, so plenty in with a chance. Now, I'm no swimming expert myself, Nick, but I'm not quite sure why there's a gap between lanes 6 and 8.
No, I'm a little bit confused by that as well. I'm not sure. I just noticed that. I was looking at my the start sheets here, and I was like, why is there no one down for 6 and 7? But I'm sure there's a reason behind that, but I'm not quite sure. But still, no matter, we should hopefully see some fast swimming here and see if these girls can drop some time from this morning's swims.
That's the hope anyway. Starting off with the junior final of the 200 metre fly.
Okay, first off, our 200 metre butterfly underway for the women. Fastest in this one, Lucy O'Brien. The 13-year-old was a 2:42.18 this morning. About 3 seconds up on the Banbridge rival, Georgina Walker. But it's a nice opening 35 metres there for Jessica Gannon in lane 8. She might have been cruising this morning. She swam a 2:42. And we're missing someone in 7. That's Beth Catney from Lurgan. So it's Jessica Gannon, 32.82 out. This is going to be a nice time. There's going to be a sub 2:40 swim if she can keep this up. We'll see what happens as we get to halfway. She's big race leader now at 75 metres. So we're looking for probably a 1:15 here at the wall. Nothing between second and third in this race. Lanes 4 and 5. We have O'Brien and Walker. So like I said, they were 2:42s up to 45s. 1:10.97. Well, that's a big chunk of time out of that. She'll be smashing that 2:42 if she keeps that up. Nothing between the other ones. Look at that, 1/10 of a second, 1:15s. Then Eva Han for Ards coming through on a 17. So 125 meters into this, 1.5 minutes in. As Jessica Gannon from Limerick leading this. Can her teammate hold on for second? They're looking pretty tight up there. 15 meters to go for their last turn. But Gannon all the way home. It's going to be a 1:51. 1:51.55. Let's see what the two center lanes come in on. They were 2:02s this morning. They're also under 1:57.8 to 1:57.84. Eva Hand on a nice 2 minutes. All these swimmers are going to drop time, and then we have one more race after this. So 16 meters to go now for Gannon. Here we go, feeling that pain up her shoulders, but she's going to bring it home well under that 2:42 time from this morning. She's going to be about a 33 if she gets her, with a bit of a glide. 2:34.04, fantastic drop. Her teammate hits second on a 2:39, also faster this morning. Walker coming through on a 2:41.3. There's your top three. Hand on a 2:45.5. And then Beth Catney from Lurgan on a 2:47. 200 butterfly done and dusted. Good job, swimmers.
Yeah, some very impressive swims there. Jessica Gannon at 2:34.04. Lucy O'Brien at 2:39.01. Both improving drastically on their morning time. Georgina Walker, Eva Hand and Beth Catney in behind, all of them improving also. So very good first junior final of the 200 fly, which seems an extremely demanding event.
200 fly is a very tough event. It was one of the events that I did quite a lot when I was younger, but as I became more senior I dropped it. But it's a hugely physically demanding stroke. That butterfly stroke is really tough on the shoulders, and coming down that last 50 your arms can feel like lead. So that's why your pacing strategy is so important over that first 100 meters, to make sure that on that last 50 you have a little bit of energy to go to, because there's not many worse things than coming down that last 50 fly feeling like your arms aren't even coming above the water. Feels like you're swimming through fudge at that stage. So keeping that easy speed over the first 100 meters is really important to making sure that you can finish a 200 butterfly strong. So that was a great swimming, and I think we were just speaking off mic after the race started, and they've amalgamated the junior final and the B final of that race, so that's why we had lane separating Jessica and the rest of the swimmers. So great swimming by all of them.
Yeah, very much so, and it moves us on to the senior final of the 200 metre butterfly. And coming on first, Just on your screens there is Eva Bailey in lane 9 from New Ross. Lane 0 is Anna McKernan from Banbridge. Hannah Malloy in 8 from Trojan. In lane 1 is Andrea Cox from Lisburn. In 7 is Ruth Kelly from New Ross. In 2 is Pippa Mulhall from Trojan. In 6 is Hannah McCabry from Lurgan. In 3 is going to be Hannah O'Shea from Dolphin. In lane 5 is Sharon Semchi from New Ross. And in 4 is Alana Burns-Atkin from Banbridge.
As we were just speaking there, talking about making sure you have a little bit of energy conserved for the finish of a 200 fly, that's what Alana did really well this morning. She had a really strong finish to that last 50, and I would say look to her to do that again in this final. So a strong performance from her, and it'll be interesting to see how the girls on either side of her, where they are at 150 and whether they try and match her on that last 50.
Yeah, certainly medals in behind up for grabs here. Anna Burns-Atkin, Sharon Semchi, Hannah O'Shea, Hannah McCabry, all relatively close on morning times. Be interesting to see how they get on in the senior final.
All right, a final 200 butterfly for the females. Well underway now. Lane 4, Burns-Atkin from Banbridge, fastest in. She was a 2:22.88. Right beside her, though, Sunday's well swimmer Sharon Simchi, 2:23. So we'll check in on the big clock after this 50. We need to be under 29.8, 29.7, but it's lane number 5 taking it out in a 29.66. Good. Sharon seems she's in the lead. Scanning for second, Hannah O'Shea on a 31.2, and then right behind her, fastest qualifier, Burns-Atkin. So if Simchi holds up this pace, we need to be about a 104 at the 100-meter mark. Looking for a 104 point something. Trying to average as close to 40 seconds per 50. Sorry, as close to 36, 37 seconds per 50. 104.66, good stuff. She's on target here. O'Shea second, 106.83. Burns-Atkin coming through in a 107. So they're already all faster than this morning. This is going to be good. No doubt about who's winning this one. Unless something happens, Sharon, well, you never know. 75 meters to go. Coming through on a low 122. A little bit of tempo coming through now from the race. Fastest qualifier for this final, that's Burns-Atkin in 4. Can she claw back? So they can't be dropping off over up to the 37s and 38s here. We got to maintain that. 142.41, it's getting close now, but it's O'Shea that's right there. Burns-Atkin, does she have anything left? She's on a 144. Then we're out to Andrea Cox on a 146. Can lanes 3 and 4 creep up? I'm going to walk gently beside them. Oh, it's going to be good. 25 meters to go. Who's going to bring it home? I don't think Simchi's got it. She's dying. Look at Banbridge picking it up. Tempo up. She's come through. It's Burns-Atkin. Burns-Atkin for Banbridge. Look at the finish in last 25. Put your hands together for a fantastic race. 2:20.90. What a fantastic 200 fly. She takes the win-win. Simchi on a 2:22.23. And then O'Shea right behind her on a 2:22.78. Talk about a race. Fantastic last 30, 35 meters there.
What a super finish from Alana Burns-Atkin to take the silver medal, or the gold medal, should I say, in the 200 fly from Sharon Semchi, who was out in front for the majority of the way there. But you did mention if Burns-Atkin was within striking distance, she was always going to pounce late.
Yeah, that's how she swam this morning as well. She had a really strong last 50 this morning, and that pacing is so important in a 200 fly. Sharon Simchi did all the work for the first 150 meters, but they say in swimming that sometimes the piano's on your back on that last 50 if you go out too hard and that lactic acid builds, those shoulders are burning. And really gutsy swim by Sharon, but hats off to Alana Atkins to have that patience to take that race out so controlled over that first 100 metres, and then to have the belief in your own ability to come back so strong in the last 50. She was over 3 seconds faster than anyone else on that last 50. That's how much ground she made up in the last 50. So as a 16-year-old, to have that confidence, to allow the girls beside you, Sharon, to go out so hard and not to start rushing is a really impressive trait for her, and hats off to her and hats off to her coaches in Banbridge for instilling that belief. You can go out slow, you can pace your race and trust in your ability to come back and not get overawed by what's happening around you. So brilliant swimming there by Alana.
We're going to have our presentations now of the backstroke for both the female and the males, starting off with the female 100 metres. She's won another gold medal coming up for Danielle Hill. To be Lottie Cullen getting that bronze medal, and Maria Godden getting another silver medal for today. Lottie Cullen collecting a bronze medal. A very good swim from her in the final.
Lottie was great in that swim. She took that out from lane 2. She attacked the race really well and held on in that second 50. So really strong swimming by Lottie there, and Maria getting her silver medal, her second silver medal after that 200 back. So another strong performance from her. But Danielle Hill was the class of that field, swimming 60.8. Such a strong performance for her and such a strong meet in general. Running out of good things to say about her at this stage.
Yeah, we're running out of adjectives. We were last night, and she's gone and won another gold medal this evening, and it's just been a fantastic week for her, especially given she came into the week wondering where she was from a fitness point of view, from a preparation point of view, but she's, I think, dispelled that pretty quickly.
For sure, she dispelled that pretty quickly. On when we saw her in a 200 back call, I was wondering how she was going to get on with that, but she showed she has that aerobic capacity, and then she showed in her sprint events that she has the sprint capacity as well, and she's not finished. We're going to see her again tomorrow in the 50 back, so a shorter event than that, so it'll be exciting. I know she likes the 50 back, it's a fun event, so she'll be looking forward to that, I'm sure, and it'll be exciting to watch her race in that.
And we now have the presentation of the 100 metre back stroke for the men, which was won very impressively by Conor Ferguson from Paddy Johnson and Adam Barnes. So they're going to be the three men collecting medals on this occasion. Barnes in that bronze position, in that silver position Paddy Johnson, and Conor Ferguson, who was an extremely impressive winner.
It's a great swim by Adam, 17-year-old from Ards, to get on the podium beside two internationals, two senior internationals in Paddy Johnson and Conor Ferguson. Is a really, really strong performance by him, and Ards are having a great meet here. Curtis Calder, coach, is doing a great job with him, so congrats to Adam and congrats to all the swimmers in Ards. Paddy Johnson, we've spoken about him a lot already. 200 fly gold medalist, 50 back gold medalist, 100 fly silver medalist, and he's adding now the 100 back silver medal to that event, to that tally, so great swimming from him. And then Conor Ferguson picking up that gold medal, 55.40 time for Conor. He swam a really controlled race down that first 50, but he really turned on the power, turned on that rate on that last 50, strong underwaters to pull away from Paddy and get that win. So strong swimming from three guys there, so congrats to all of them.
Yep. Deservedly getting their moments on the podium, which is going to lead us on to, I think, the event. We're on event 27 of the week, and I think this might be the one you've been looking forward to the most, the 200 metre breaststroke. I suppose, given it was obviously your main event, what should we be looking for, almost at any level, for the beginner like myself, in the B final, junior final, senior final? Like, what are the key ingredients to bettering your 200 metre breaststroke?
I think the key thing to breaststroke in general is being able to swim with efficiency. I think whether it's the 50, the 100 or the 200 breaststroke, being able to get into that really flat, streamlined body position is so important. What changes across the 50, 100 and 200 is the length of time that you're in that position. So in the 50, you're only getting into that streamlined body position for a fraction of a second or a half a second at most, and then you're breaking out into your stroke Whereas on that 200, especially the first 100 of that 200, you're really holding on to that glide. You're trying to conserve energy. Much like the 200 fly, you want to make sure that you have a really strong finish on that last 50. You don't want to be coming down that last 50 feeling like you're slipping water. You want to come off that third wall with a big pull out, a nice smooth breakout, and carrying power through that race right the way to the finish, and feeling like you're swimming with confidence and strength and power on that last 50, as opposed to slipping the water, just holding it. So swimming with efficiency, getting into that streamlined body position, and holding that count is holding that, almost counting in your head, 1, 2, 3 on every one of those strokes on those first 2 lengths is so important to swim a really strong 200 breaststroke.
And when it kicks in, when you're getting towards the latter end of these races, and you're potentially very close, you know, you can sense almost bodies around you. What did you do to, I suppose, further yourself? Is it just one of those ones you've got to go on instinct almost in that last 50? Because you've mentioned before, it's almost a bit counterintuitive at times. The more you want to go fast, sometimes the less you would.
Yeah, breaststroke is pretty unique from that perspective, in that trying to go fast does not necessarily mean you will go faster. So I think on that last 50 especially, I think this is where it really counts, and I think this is where the experience comes in. There's been times where I've been in the race and I could feel really good coming down the last 30 meters, and because I feel good, I'm like, okay, let's pick up the rate and let's try and increase it to get that extra little bit of speed. And then I come out of the race, I finish, I look at the time, and I go back and I look at my splits and I talk to my coach, and it's, oh, I dropped 2 seconds between the third and the fourth 50. And it's because when I picked up that rate, I started slipping the water and I wasn't as connected, I wasn't catching as much water and wasn't moving to it. So although it felt like I was trying harder, it felt like my rate had picked up because it had, I actually wasn't moving as fast. So on that last 50, for me personally, and it is different for every swimmer, but for me personally, I always had to remind myself that it's power on that last 50, making sure you're connected, high elbows, keeping a good head position, and then fast hands. That was the key for me, was fast hands over the water to drive into that streamlined position and then break out again and go again. So that was my kind of cue in my head on that last 50, was power as opposed to speed. It was maintain that power, maintain that connection, and then give everything you got, really, but in a controlled fashion.
I suppose that's almost the beauty of the stroke, is that you can get so many different, when you're looking out on it, there's so many different little variations and techniques each individual swimmer has, obviously all to suit their own, but you can almost don't get that with some of the other strokes, you know, that you have such a kind of a niche kind of ability, swimmer by swimmer, to see different things.
Yeah, absolutely. I think breaststrokers are generally joked about us that we're a different breed than the rest of the swimmers. We're kind of outcast away onto the side doing our own thing. So it is a really technical, tactical stroke, and what works for me is not going to work for another person. So you have to find the way. I had a training partner for many years over in Edinburgh, and we swam it completely differently, very similar in times, but he was all about swimming light and stay high in the water, whereas I was about being efficient. So each individual swimmer, whether that's the junior final, the B final, or the senior final, has to figure out what works for them. But there are key components of that streamline and body position. No matter who you are, you can't get away from those key fundamentals.
It'll be interesting to see all of that on show here. We're starting off with the B final. In lane 0, Ryan McGinley, Alfie Coogan in 1, Cian Foley 2, Patrick Curley in 3, Michael McNamara 4, Cillian O'Sullivan in 5, Owen Walsh 6, Ben Cardwell 7, and Jake Logan in 8 for the B final of the 200 metre breaststroke, our second last event of the evening here in the National Aquatic Centre. Let's hope it lives up to its billing as we'll be heading down to Andrew.
Okay, so B final, 200 metre breaststroke. I'll say it again, it's one of my favorites. Nice start there from lane number 5. That is O'Sullivan for UCD in that yellow cap, or yellow writing on the navy purple cap. ESB swimmer over there, Patrick Curley, looking pretty good too as we approach the first turn. So these guys got to be, they were 35s this morning. I'm thinking 34 mid, even faster. Look at that, 33.1. All right, O'Sullivan, let's see what you got. Curley on a 33.7, and then McNamara coming through on a 34.62. McNamara representing Claire Morris. Good to see them in the mix in this final. So it's glide time here, 75 meters in, 51 seconds on the clock, done. They need a B. If he's out in the 33, He's probably going to be about a 111, 112, but the rest of the guys are catching up. Nothing really between 4th, 5th, and 6th. BC there. Ben Cardwell in lane number 7, having a good fight with lane number 8, Jake Logan. So they're turning. We have a stack of 12s and 13s. Let's see what we got. 112 O'Sullivan, 112 Curley, and then 113 for McNamara. This is where it all happens now, folks, as we approach 125 meters in the 200 breaststroke. The UCD man staying disciplined with that length, checking in with his stroke rate. There's 1, there's 2, 3, and 4. 31 stroke rate. We should expect to see that pick up on this last 50. Going to be turning in about a 151, 152. Hits the wall first, 152.04. McNamara's moved up to second, but just 153. Who's picking up the tempo now as we cruise down the last length? 200 meter breaststroke B final. 25 meters to go. The UCD man chilling all the way through with 31 stroke rate, bringing it home, looking really, really good. Second place just now, McNamara from Claremorris, and the ESB man has moved to 3rd with lane number 6. That's Owen Walsh coming through for Cookstown. But put your hands together, what a drop of time, low 230s. 230.52 for O'Sullivan. He went for it, he paced it, he won it. 233.22 for McNamara, and then Curley coming through on a 235.1 to round out your top 3. Nice swimming, 200 breaststrokers.
A great swim from Cillian O'Sullivan, who's taken out of the B final, beating Michael McNamara, and Patrick Curley went out very strong in lane 3 as well. Sub 231, a nice little improvement on what we saw this morning, over 5 seconds. And it seems to our left here in the commentary box, he seems to have a little fan club here, Cillian O'Sullivan, so they're all delighted.
Yeah, definitely. I think the UCD, some of his classmates from UCD have come in and supported him there, so he'll be delighted to get the win in that. He was in control from the start and swam that race really well, like splits wise, was all consistent right the way through, maintaining that stroke count, building nicely through each 50, so really well swam by Cillian there. And Michael McNamara, I was watching his stroke, technically looks really strong. That efficiency in his stroke was really good and had that pick up towards the end to get that second place in that final. So I could watch 200 breaststrokes all day, so that was a really exciting one for me. And as we move into this junior final, it should be another good one before the big showdown in the senior final.
You can sense also in these 200 meter races, we saw it in the butterfly as well for the women's there. When you get to that kind of 150 meter phase, you can sense the crowd just lifting a little bit. There's suddenly a lot of cheering going on. Did you ever, when you were in the pool, could you sense that at all?
I think in breaststroke you definitely can, because you're lifting on every stroke, so you can't hear specifics, or I could never hear specifics, but you can get a sense of the energy. You can get a sense of the energy around the place, so you know if it's loud and you're kind of maybe at the front of the race, you know, okay, it's really good, or it's not that it's really good, there's a good race going on here. So you can definitely sense on breaststroke, probably more so than the other strokes. I think the freestylers, I think it's all just a dull kind of murmur for them, but for the breaststroke, when you're lifting, you can definitely get a sense of that soundings. But there's also races where I don't remember very much at all. You're just so focused on what you're doing that you're not aware of anything else that goes around. But when it really does get loud, I think there's something that registers that, okay, this is a good race here, and there's excitement building around the arena.
Well, there certainly is excitement moving on to this junior final, and then on to that hotly anticipated senior final, where we're going to see the 3 again, Oisin Cook, Owen Corby and Dara Green, who have traded blows in the 50 metre and the 100 metre of this event, and are now going to do so in the 200 metre. But we've got the junior final before that, and in lane 0 is going to be Michael Feenan from Sunday's Well. In 1 is Bryn Fitzpatrick from Lisburn. In 2 is Cian George. In 3 is Benji Cummings. In 4 is Ali Ryan. In 5 is Ronan Kilcoyne. In 6 is Angus Cook. In 7 is Zachary Black. In 8 is Ewan Fain. And in 9 is Ryan Ace. So 10 going to the blocks here in the junior final of the 200 metre breaststroke. We've got the junior final, we've then got the senior final, and then the 800 metre freestyle for the women, the final heat on that, before a few presentations, a couple of interviews, and that will be a wrap for day 4 of the Irish Open Championships. But Ali Ryan comes here with a sub 2:34 time this morning. Ronan Kilcoyne just outside that at 2:34.29. A couple that are also quite close in and around those 2:36, 2:37 times, so make sure to keep an eye out for those outside lanes as well. But Ali Ryan, the favourite on the book here, the 17-year-old from Coolmine, in lane 4 for the junior final.
Junior final in the water with that breaststroke pull down. Let's see who's going to pop up first. That's a nice one from, I think it's Benji Cummings over there in lane 3 for Ards on that navy cap. Yeah, he's hit this first 25 now, 14.1. Coming through that red little mark in the middle of the pool. So it's Cummings. Just like before, these guys need to be out sub 35s. I'm thinking Benji's taking this one out in a 33 point. Let's see what he's going to throw down. Lane 3, 4, nice swim from 8 as well. That's Ewan Hain. Oh, all right, Benji, 32.9, why not? Look at that pull out though, pops up and takes off. Let's see if he's going to get pressured. Now the advantage of being in 4 or 5, they might be able to see him slightly ahead, not much, but their stroke rates are all very similar. Look at them all rising at the same time. Benji slightly higher rate. Coming through now, 15 meters to go for these race leaders. Lane number 8 also there, but he's going to have to do a lot, the Dolphin man, to catch up. It's going to be Benji, it's going to be Rayan, and it's going to be Kilcoyne as we hit roughly around a 111. Yes, yes, yes. They were up near 116s, 117s earlier, so we're going to take a chunk of time out of that 2:33 qualifying time. Can Benji Cummings hold on? He's moved his life from Donegal down to North Down to swim. He's coming through now in 1 minute 30 seconds. Kilcoyne looks good though. He looks really controlled as we approach 15 meters from the final turn. This is just going to be as exciting as the next race coming up, folks. We got some serious breaststrokers. Good to see these guys coming through too. So it's still Cummings. 151, I think, on the wall. Yes. Look how close that is now. 151.1 to 0.2 to 0.44. Get behind your swimmers, folks. Make some noise as they're bringing it home. 33 meters to go. Fast race qualifier from this morning. Ali Rayan from Coolmine. Look at the tempo change. He's leaving the lads in his wake. Coming now, 16 meters to go. The question is he going to go under 2:30? Let's see if he does. Coolmine bringing him home. Ali Rayan, lane number 4, 2:29 maybe. Yep, 2:29.28 for Rayan. Just over that 30-second barrier. Ronan Kilcoyne comes second. And then the man that took it out really, really fast at the start still held on for third on a 2:31.77. That was your junior final. We got the big boys coming up next. Get ready for a big race.
Ali Ryan takes home the junior final in a sub 2:30 time there, 2:29.28, 4 seconds improvement on his morning time. Ronan Kilcoyne 2:31.33, also an improvement. Plenty of these improving out of sight by 3-4 seconds, even in some of those outside lanes. The likes of Zachary Black from Lurgan, 4 seconds improvement on his morning swim, and I think an awful lot of actually pretty happy and content swimmers at the end of that.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if it's because I'm biased, but I think a lot of the reason why you get such big drops in that 200 breaststroke is because it is a really tactical race. That tactical element is so important. Getting your pacing right is so important, and the top 3 were a perfect example of that. Benji Cummings led for 150 meters of that race, but it looked like he started out on that first 50. His rate was quite high, and it was always a question of whether he was going to be able to sustain that and sustain the connection. When you compare that to Ali, who ended up pulling away in some really composed race, he was so efficient and so long through that first 100 meters. And by the time he got to that last length, he was able to pick that rate up, stay connected, and come back in a 37 point, having swum at 39 on the 50 before, is really, really strong, and it shows a lot of composure, no more than in the 200 fly where Alana came back so strong. For a young person to have so much confidence in their swimming that I will be able to get to 150 and then come home strong is a really impressive trait, and really impressive swimming there from Ali. And Ronan Kilcoyne in second in silver, he swam a really composed race as well, or second place in that junior final, so hats off to those guys for some really strong swimming.
Indeed, and it brings us on to the senior final, and as I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, these three, Oisin Cook, Owen Corby, Dara Green, we've seen them at each other's throats in the 100 metres, in the 50 metres. We're going to see now the swimmers coming out. First of all, in lane 9, Liam O'Connor, just 17 years of age, from Terenure. Big moment for him. Paul Cox in lane 0 from Lisburn. In 8 is Nikita Verdernikov from the home club NEC, 22 years of age. Matthew Hand is in 1, 17 years of age as well, from Ards. In lane 7 is Adam Wilson from Banbridge, 19 years old, 2:28 this morning. In 2 is Morgan Berryman, also from Larne, 25 years of age. In 6 is Dara Green, 2:18 this morning. You feel there's more to come. Andrew Feenan, a big swim this morning from him, 2:18, and there's encouragement from the stands behind Andrew Feenan. Owen Corby's in there at lane 5 at 2:16 this morning, and Oisin Cook at 2:15 this morning in lane 4. The three of them have been at each other. Corby's won the 2 thus far. Can he make it 3 in a row, or do you think either Cook or Dara Green can turn the tables over this longer distance?
This one, I think, is of the 3. I think this is the one that's most difficult to call, so it'll be really interesting. I think look for these guys to swim a very different race this morning. Dara was quite relaxed through the first 100, but look for him to take it out. I think they'll all be 63s or 64 low at the minimum going out at 100, and then it'll be a real race on that second 100 between these 3 guys. I couldn't call it at this stage which way it'll go. Owen, after having got the gold in the 50 and the 100, is in form, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes. But Oisin Cook, after breaking that Irish senior record short course, he swam at 2:14 twice already in season, so he's clearly on form for this 200. I think it's his preferred one of the 3, so this really could go anyway and should be a fascinating race.
That should be a goodie. Cook in 4, Corby 5, Green 6, Feenan in 3. Over to Andrew Bree.
Here we go, 200 breaststroke A final. This is going to be good. Corby, Cook, Feenan and Green all in those centre lanes. We're looking for, he was 2:15 this morning, but I think there's more in the tank. We're looking for maybe a 13 if he can pull it off. Got to concentrate on that middle 100, but look at the length. Cook is taking it out. Cook is taking it out. He was just over his best this morning, 0.1 over his best. So we need to be 29 point, just over, 30.17. So he might be pacing this slightly different from this morning. These guys hoping to get close to about 33 seconds per 50. That's where the magic is. So Green is chilling right now. He's even longer stroke rates. Feenan's with him. But the race leader is Cook. Cook and Corby now moving forward. These guys still only at the very start of their game. Here we go, 100 meters, what have we got? 64, 63s? Yeah, get in. 63.76. Corby's right there with him on a 104.41. Then we're moving out to Andrew Feenan on a 6. Dara Green also on a 6. Expect Green to come back though. He's already making a move. The powerhouse. He's been 2:10. I don't think he's going to catch, but he will hold on for 3rd. Actually, you never know. He may catch. But the 2 lads out front are going now. This is going to be a great race. Let's see what they're going to turn in. They were 139.7 this morning. They're going to be roughly the same. Turning, well, last length. Who's going to bring it home? Cook was a 35 home this morning, but it's Corby and Cook all the way through. Green's making a little bit of a catch up, but it's not going to be enough. Here we go. Look at the tempos go. 25 to go. Hoping to hear that Limerick squad make some noise. Corby. Is it going to be Corby? He won the 100. Is he going to do the double? It looks like it. Cook still fighting. 6 meters to go. Corby coming through. He's going to be about a 2:12. Hits the wall. 2:12.81. Owen Corby does the double here with the 2:12 and the 60 point the other night. 2:13.5 for Cook. And then Dara Green rounding out the top three on a 2:15.81. Nice job, breaststrokers. A pleasure to watch. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah, what a great swim from Owen Corby. 2:12.82. Oisin Cook carried out on his shield in second in 2:13.54. A good improvement from this morning. Dara Green 2:15.81. Andrew Feenan was right there for a long way as well. He comes fourth with 2:17.17, and Corby just got the better of Cook in that last 50 metres.
Yeah, that was a great race, and that's what we talk about, the tactical nature of this 200 breaststroke. Owen just sat on Oisin's shoulder for the majority of that race until probably pulled the even on that last third 50, and they were neck and neck for that whole fourth 50. There was hardly anything to separate them. That's a really strong swim from Owen. That's a 50, 100 and 200 win for Owen, which is, you can't ask for more than that. 3 golds. And that's a PB for Oisin. That's the first time he's gone sub 2:14, so 2:13.5. That's a big personal best from Oisin, so that's a really strong performance from him as well. The tactical nature of that, Oisin looked so smooth on that first 100 metres. He was really efficient, really long, but Owen just kept chipping away at him. He's a really powerful swimmer, just kept chipping away each 50 from 2, 3 and 4, just chipping back, and then pulled even on the fourth 50, and there was really nothing to separate them on that last 50. So personally, that 200 breaststroke lived up to the hype, and really exciting race. And Dara in third, as we know, he's pre-qualified, so long-term view for him is the summer where he wants to peak. So that's just the process, all about going through the race process, executing the way he wants to, and then get ready to really peak perform come the summertime.
Yeah, fascinating how it's transpired between those three swimmers throughout the course of the week in the 50, 100 and 200. Corby has got the job done in all three. Cook this time getting the silver, Green the bronze. Andrew Feenan, an exceptionally good swim from him back in fourth as well, taking off a bit of time off his morning time as well. And that moves us on to the final heat of the 800 metre freestyle. And Ava McNamara is in lane 9. In lane 0 is Rebecca Friel. In lane 8 is Grace Cochrane from Lurgan. In 1 is Hazel Bentley from Asgard. In lane 7 is Ruth Kelly from New Ross. In lane 2 is Danielle Farrell from Sligo. From lane 6 is Alwyn Cook from Limerick. In lane 3 is Ella Carroll from NCL, 17 years of age. In lane 5 is Amelia Kane from Arts, we've seen plenty of. And in lane 4 is Grace Hodgins from Trojan, who we've also seen great stuff from throughout the entirety of this week. Grace Hodgins at sub 9 minutes as a seed time. Amelia Kane is there at just 9 minutes on the trot. Ella Carroll 9:13. So you think the action's going to come here from lanes 4 and 5.
Grace has been in flying form all week, this distance freestyle specialist. She was under the European Junior consideration time in the 1500. She was actually under the 800 European Junior consideration time for the first, at the 800 mark of that 1500. She was a 9:07 at that 800 metre mark, so she'll be looking to go beyond that now in this, specifically this 800 metres freestyle event. So should be exciting. And Ruth Kelly is just fresh out of a 200 fly, so 200 fly, 800 freestyle double is not one I'd personally like to do, but hats off to Ruth, and hopefully she has a great swim here.
Yeah, best of luck to all 10 of these swimmers. The likes of Hodgins and Kane, their first swim of the day here in the 800 metre freestyle final.
Okay, here we go now. 800 metres. We got a few old school rivals here. We got Carol, Hodgins and Kane. And we got Farrell in 2, Cook in 6, Bentley in 1, Kelly in 7, Cochrane in 8, Frail out there in 0. McNamara in 9. McNamara had a nice 400 IM last night. Opening 25 meters. Opening 50 meters, 30.25. Kane on a 30.6. 30.9 for Cook. Don't disregard her. She goes from a 50 breast to an 800 free. Nice variety in that. Training with the Limerick Centre there with that silver cap. And then her teammate Ella Carroll just above the yellow lanes beside Hodgins. But look who's taking it out already. So we're just over the minute right now. It's Grace Hodgins. She's going to turn in a 102, 103, 103.03. Amelia Kane right there, 0.6 point after. Second on a 103.7. And then just under the 105, we got Cook still in the mix for Limerick. So the action will heat up round about 400 to 500. It'll separate through. The two fastest qualifiers are already ahead. So Hodgins has entered in a 8:57. She's the only one entered sub 9 minutes. Kane's right there though. She's on a 9 minutes .13. And then Ella Carroll's entered on a 9:13.6. And that's roughly the order that we're in. Apart from Cook making a bit of a dent. She's entered on a 9:25, but if she keeps this up, she'll be well under that 9:25 time. But no doubt about who's taking this first. 200 out, under 210, just about. Oh, why not? 210.00. Hodgins takes it out. Orange swimmer Kane second, 211.7. Then we're moving up to Carroll on a 14. Cook on a 15. She's dropped back slightly. Farrell's on a 16. And then we're all pretty stacked up. 17, 18s all the way out to 22 for Kelly. But it's Hodgins now approaching 250 meters. We'll check in on that 800 meter stroke rate after this turn. She's going to be coming through in about a 242, 43 point, 43.65 for her. Trojan taking this one all the way. It's psychological win as well if you can get out in front. Kane through on a 46, Carroll on a 48, and then Cook just over the 50 with a 51.52. Okay, very comfortable 800 stroke rate of 38.1. Nice and long and chill right now. So she's turning at 300 meters on a 3:17.46. Kane on a 3:20. Carroll on a 23. Very nice race forming over in lanes 0, 1 and 2. Nothing between them. 3:30s and 3:29s over there. Let's see if they can creep up. Fourth position is going to be lane number 6. That's Olin Cook. But she's being caught slightly as well from Lurgan swimmer in lane number 8 here beside me, Ruth Kelly. Sorry, that's Grace Cochran there in lane number 8. Hodgins still through, maintaining that same gap between all first 3 swimmers. Not much has changed. 6 and 8 having a good one. And then again, like I said, those far 3 lanes over there, 0, 1 and 2. Stroke for stroke, absolutely nothing between them. So we're coming up now, 400 meters off this race. This is the halfway mark. What's she going to turn in? 4 what? 4:26? Under. 4:25.42 for Hodgins. 4:30 for Kane. 33.5 for Carroll. And then it's anyone's game. Let's see if there's going to be a battle for 4th. 4:39. The Lurgan swimmer, Cochran in 8, just in front of Cook, who's dropped back to 5th now. So 450 meters in, 7 lengths to go for the Trojan swimmer. 7 lengths to go for all these swimmers. 4:59.59. Kane 6 seconds back, 5:05. Carroll 3 seconds back, 5:08. So the Lurgan swimmers made a move, 5:15. 3 seconds behind her, Hazel Bentley in that light blue cap of Asgard over in lane number 1. She separated herself now slightly from those 2 swimmers that they were racing fairly stacked up all the way through. 500 meters in, 5:33.71. Kane through in a 5:39. So her stroke rate before was 38.1. I'll check back in now and see where she's at. Probably roughly the same. She might pick it up in the last 200. It's actually dropped. It's a 36 now, so she's settled in. She knows she's a good 10 meters up on the rest of the field. So 5 lengths to go, 250 meters here at the NAC. Final race of tonight. We're back for the final day tomorrow, folks. It's been a fantastic week, all the way from Tuesday to Saturday. So a big summer of swimming coming up for everyone at all levels. Before you know it, it's going to be July. We'll all be back for the Irish age group and open champs. 200 meters now. After this wall, she's got 200 meters, 4 lengths to go. $6:42.0 for Grace. Amelia Kane coming through, 6:49. So 7-second gap there. 5 seconds back, Carol, 6:54.72. So there's a difference there, just in terms of stroke rates. Kane, as you can see, higher tempo. She's up at about 43, 44 strokes per minute. Hodgins keeping pretty controlled. She's picked it up a little bit. She's up near 39 strokes a minute now. So she knows she's only got 125 meters to go. Kane maintaining. Let's see what she drops tonight. And then still over in lane number 3, that's Ella Carroll. Cochrane still in 4th. Bentley still in 5th. And Rebecca Frail has moved through now on a 7:46. She's taken over Farrell. And then we have Cook, who's dropped back. Cook took it out pretty slick at the start, but she's dropped back now to 8th. Kelly in 9th, and then Ava McNamara in 10th. 75 meters to go, folks. Final race of the night. Grace Hodgins, she is entered on a 8:57.94. Will she get under? I think she might. Look at this. So she's got about 36 seconds to do it. Has she done the work? Has she changed the speed to bring it all the way home? 36 split. She's got 21 seconds. I think she might get back under that 9-minute barrier, which is impressive. So put down your phones if you're on them. Put your hands together. Nice tempo at the very, very end. Grace Hodgins for Trojans, sub 9 minutes. Yes, thank you very much. 8:55, 8:56, 44. That's a good drop, a good chunk out of that 9 minutes. Coming in second now in lane number 5, it's Amelia Kane on a 9:08.02, with Ella Carroll closing out her 800-meter campaign on a 9:14.55. And I think it's going to be the Lurgan swimmer down here, Grace Cochrane in lane number 8. She's coming through, a little bit of speed at the end. She touches in a 9:25. I think Mateo's happy with that. Good job, Lurgan. And then finishing off there, top 5, Asgard, Hazel Bentley over in lane 1 on a 9:30. All right, put your hands together. One more swimmer, 2 more swimmers to finish. When they all do, put your hands together, folks. Wrapping up day 4 here at the championships. We'll see you nice and early tomorrow morning for another fast day of Irish swimming. Well done, everyone.
Yeah, super swim yet again from Grace Hodgins, her 3rd gold of the week. She's taken out the 400-meter free, the 1500-meter free, and is added the 800 just for the sake of it at 8:56.44. Very strong time. Amelia Kane, another very good swim from her in second. She'll be on the podium yet again this week. Ella Carroll 9:14, Grace Cochrane 9:25. An awful lot of improvements on those seed times, but Grace Hodgins, it's been a really special couple of days from her, and to win so impressively in 3 big long distance events is fantastic going.
Yeah, great swimming by Grace there. As you said, distance freestyle specialist, to win 3 from 3, the 4, the 8 and the 15 is really impressive, and that's another European junior consideration standard to add to the other 2, the 4 and the 15. So she'll be hoping to be on that plane heading to European juniors later this summer. And really brilliant swimming. Looking at her splits again, I know I did this in the 1500 as well, but she's so consistent throughout that race, swimming 33s, 34 lows, and never deviating more than half a second between any of the splits and any of the 50s once she settled into her rhythm. So really strong swimming from Grace Hodgins from Trojan Swimming Club, but also a mention for Grace Cochrane from Lurgan, 15-year-old, was under the consideration standard for the European Youth Olympic Festival later this summer, so she'll also be hoping to be on that plane. And equally great swimming from Amelia Kane in second and Ella Carroll in third. That's actually that same podium, same order as the women's 400 freestyle, so those girls are used to racing each other, and a great performance and a great way to end a fine final session here at the NAC.
Yeah, it's been another brilliant session when you look back at it, with Owen Corby taking that 200 metre breaststroke, Grace Hodgins there in that last event, but we've also, looking back at the 200 IM earlier on, with Molly Main getting her second gold of the week, the 100 metre backstroke with Danielle Hill winning another medal. I think it was her 5th now this week as well. Like, it's been a special week of swimming this, and I suppose tonight has been no different, with no records this evening, which probably a little bit of an anticlimax after 2 last night, but some fantastic swimming nonetheless.
Yeah, fantastic swimming. I think we were spoiled the last 2 days, getting records on both days, junior records and senior records on both days, so a little bit of a lull today, but it's not a lull. We still saw some great swimming. You can't expect Irish senior records and Irish junior records every day, so we still had some fine performances right from the very start of the programme, with the women's 200 IM with Molly Main taking that win, and right through to our last swim just there with Grace Hodgins, and a fine performance in the 800 metres freestyle for the women.
Yeah, so just to conclude this evening's racing, as we have done throughout the majority of the week, we're going to have a few presentations. We're going to have the presentations of the 200 metre women's butterfly, then the men's 200 metre breaststroke, and the female 800 metre freestyle, should I say, that we've just seen there. I'm going to try get down poolside in a minute or two to maybe interview a few of the stars of the show that we've seen this evening, and we'll be having a look at those presentations first before going to that. But it really has been another brilliant day, and it keeps coming, this Irish Open, and got another packed schedule tomorrow with female 200 free, male 200 metre IM, female breaststroke, male freestyle, female backstroke, and the male 1500 freestyle as well, which we haven't seen already.
No, it doesn't stop. We still got one more day of racing. There's some big events right there. That female 200 freestyle should be a really exciting one. The women's 200 breaststroke should be an exciting one, and then the men's 50 freestyle. We have Max McCusker back in the water. He had a rest day today, so he'll be looking to continue his fine form from the 50 fly and 100 fly and 100 freestyle into the 50 freestyle. We'll also see Callum Bain racing. He had the 100 freestyle, a silver medal behind Max, but the 50 is his preferred event, so that's all to come tomorrow. So should be another exciting day of racing to finish off this Irish Open Championships.
Yeah, well, it's been a pleasure to join you for the week thus far, Nick. I'm leaving you in the safe hands of John Kenny for tomorrow, but it's been a brilliant week, and as I make myself down to poolside, you might bring the viewers through what's been a pulsating day's action and the finals here, as we see the finalists, or the medalists should I say, for the 200 metre butterfly get up onto the podium. So thanks, Nick, and I'll see you in a few minutes poolside.
As Andrew makes his way down poolside to get some athletes for some interviews and get their feelings, I'll take you to the presentations. And as you can see now, the women's 200 metre butterfly, the silver medalist winner Hannah O'Shea from Dolphins, brilliant swim from her, and the silver medalist adding to her silver medal from the 100 butterfly earlier on in the week, we have Sharon Semchi from Sunday Wells Swimming Club. And your winner of the women's 200 metres butterfly and the national champion is Alana Burns-Atkin. And what a swim by the 16-year-old from Banbridge. I was really impressed by how she swam that race. She was so controlled through the first 150 metres, and she had belief in her training, and she had belief in her ability to come back so strong on that 50, and she was almost 2 seconds quicker than both Sharon and Hannah on that last 50, and that was ultimately what made the difference in her getting the touch in a time of 2:20.90, which was a massive improvement from her morning swim. The other two women, Sharon and Hannah, both also improved on their times in a 2:22.23 for Sharon and a 2:22.79 for Hannah. So brilliant performances for all those women in that women's 200 butterfly. And now we're moving on to the men's 200 metres breaststroke. Some familiar faces coming onto this podium. It's the same three men who medalled in the 50 metre breaststroke yesterday and the 100 metre breaststroke, although we have had a bit of order change. The one consistent has been Owen Corby winning gold in all the 50, 100 and 200 breaststroke. And presenting the medals to the guys, we have Sarah Keane, CEO of Swim Ireland and President of the OFI. So bronze medalist winner, Dara Green. Dara's already pre-qualified for the Europeans and later this summer, so he's in training, working towards that. So it will be exciting to see what he can do in the summer. And your silver medalist is Oisín Cook, backing up his silver medal from the 100 breaststroke. A PB time for Oisín in a 2:13.54. It's a really strong swim from him. He took it out really controlled and did a really strong swim at the backhand, and it was a great back half of the race. It was a great race between him and Owen, but ultimately Owen got the touch in a 2:12.82, 0.7 quicker than Oisín. But these boys are really familiar with each other. They're well used to racing each other, and it really is that competition that breeds success within the sport. So it's great to see these guys go to head and push each other all the way across multiple events, across the 50, 100 and 200 breaststroke. So fantastic week of racing for those three guys. I think we'll see Owen and Oisín in the 200 IM tomorrow, but that concludes Dara's racing for the week, and we look forward to watching him race internationally in the summer at the European Championships in Rome. And now we move on to the final medal presentation of the evening, the race you've just watched, the women's 800 metres freestyle. And there was no doubt about the winner in this one, with Grace Hodgins, the 17-year-old from Trojan, the only woman to break 9 minutes in this 800, and she swam a time that was under the consideration standard for the European Junior Championships later on this summer, which are being held in Romania. So she's going to have an exciting summer ahead. The bronze medalists, as the girls are just ready to make their way over to this podium now, they're on their way to just off camera. Bronze medalist in this event, we had Ella Carroll, swimming from National Centre Limerick. She had a brilliant swim there. It's actually the same podium in the same order as the women's 400 metre freestyle. So Ella picked up a bronze earlier in the week in the 400 freestyle, and she's adding to that with a bronze medal here in the 800. She also added a silver medal in the 1500, so she's had a fine week of racing for the National Centre of Limerick swimmer. And your silver medalist representing Ards is Amelia Kane. She's based in the States at the minute, training for Rice University. She had a really strong performance. She's adding to her medal tally for this week, picking up a 400 freestyle silver and a bronze in the 400 IM yesterday, so great swimming by Amelia. And then finally you've got Grace Hodgins, the Trojan swimmer, picking up her third gold of the meet, third consideration standard for the European Junior Championships. It's been a brilliant week's worth of racing tomorrow, and I think we'll see her in the shortest event she's done so far, the 200 freestyle tomorrow. So massive congratulations to Grace Hodgins from Trojan, Amelia Kane from Ards, and Ella Carroll from Limerick. They're just getting their photos on the podium now, so it's great to see these girls enjoying the moment. Grace just lifting up her trophy for the photos there, and they're all joining together. Brilliant to see, and brilliant for those girls to get their minute on the podium after really strong performances in that 800 freestyle. Before we head down poolside with Andrew, where he's ready to do some interviews, I'll give you some of my highlights from this evening's session on day 4 of the Irish Open Championships. The big highlight for me is that men's 4x2 or men's 200 freestyle relay, which has a big part to play in who will be on national teams this summer as part of the 4x200 freestyle relay. Jack McMillan, 1:47. What a great swim from him from lane 1, taking 8 seconds off his heat time. Brilliant swimming from him. He's in hard training at the minute, so for him to do a time like that is really impressive. And you can't forget about Finn McGeever and Robbie Powell in bronze or silver and bronze position, excuse me. Great performances by those boys, and not forgetting Jordan Sloan either, who was 4th by 0.21 behind Robbie. And those guys will all be hoping to be competing internationally this summer as part of that 4x2 or whether that European Championships. So it should be great to see how they do. Another highlight for me was that women's 100 back, where we had Danielle Hill picking up her 5th gold medal of the meet, and we're only on day 4. 60.87 was a really strong performance for Danielle. Not quite an Irish senior record like we saw last night in the 100 back crawl, but as I said at the time, that Irish senior record of a 60.18 is such a brilliant performance by Danielle. To qualify her for the Olympics last summer was great, so for her to back that up with another 60-point swim is a really strong performance and sets her up brilliantly for that 50 back crawl tomorrow. I think we're ready to go poolside with Andrew for some interviews, so that's me for today, and we'll see you tomorrow for some fast racing. Over to you, Andrew.
Joined here at poolside by the winner of the female 800 metre freestyle, Grace Hodgins. Grace, your 3rd gold medal of the week as well. Must have been a pretty satisfactory one.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
And just talk us through the race from your point of view. It seemed to go very smoothly?
Yeah, I was kind of scared I went out a little too fast, but then after the 400 I was pretty comfortable, so I just felt like I could take it up a little bit more.
And going out there, obviously the early stage has been beside somebody like Amelia, who can, you can box together almost and go that kind of decent tempo, must be a big help.
Yeah, it's really helpful. Yeah, definitely.
And just in the 1500 that you won the other day, you're out by yourself an awful lot. How do you go about kind of managing your race to try and get that time that you want?
I think it's just going out, like trying to go as fast as I can, but knowing that I still have to go for a lot longer. So it's just like balancing the two, like trying to go out as fast as I can, but also having enough energy to keep going towards the end.
And how do you balance? You've obviously been in the 400, the 800, the 1500. How kind of different for you are they in terms of your preparation and your tactics?
I feel like I'm swimming the same speed, honestly, at all of them. But I think like the adrenaline like kind of lasts for longer. I don't know. The 800, I just seem to be like, I guess it's just, I know how much is left, so I just kind of feel like I can go a little bit faster when I know there's not as much left to do.
And as I say, it's been a really good week for you. You must be delighted. Looking forward to the summer, a busy summer as well. What are you looking forward to the most?
I'm really looking forward to European Juniors, and hopefully I can get a few PBs there.
Well done, Grace, and best of luck in those. I'm going to be joined now by Owen Corby as well. Owen, who's won the 200 metre breaststroke tonight, your 3rd gold of the week as well. You must be delighted.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy with that. To be honest, just kind of it's good to get back into the swing of things. I suppose I had kind of a rough few competitions there at the start of the season, but it's good to get back down on form and near my PB again.
And when you've won the 50, the 100, 200, you're up against the likes of Oisin and Dara and stuff like that. It must be great, you three swimming together, kind of encouraging each other onto those better times as well.
Yeah, no, the three of us we've raced against each other for years, and it's good. I suppose even the 200 is all just about tactics, and that's why it makes a good race to watch as well, just seeing the different tactics play out. Which I know they're like probably the top competitors in Ireland and in Europe really, so it's really good to have that competition.
And with the race this evening, talk to me about it tactically. Obviously Oisin went out pretty hard, you've kind of sat on his tail, and then in that last 50 you've stroked.
Yeah, no, that's kind of, I suppose my tactics is control the first 100. I was just focusing on my own stroke count and holding my stroke really and streamlining the first 100, and then pick it up in the second 100, and then the last 50 just giving it everything I had to come home.
And you've talked about this being obviously a great week for you, and is it a real confidence booster going into the summer ahead?
Definitely, yeah. Like I was saying earlier, it's just a rough start to the season, so it's good to be back, and it gives me good confidence now coming in to the rest of the season.
And what are you looking forward to most in those summer months? Obviously very busy.
I suppose just getting back into things. I'm not sure what the story is of the Europeans, if I've qualified or if I'll be going or what, but hopefully I am. But yeah, just whatever the next competition is, just getting back into racing.
Well done, Owen. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Brilliant to be joined by both Owen Corby and Grace Hodgins. They're both who have collectively brought up their third gold medals of the week here at the Irish Open Championships. That wraps up our coverage here on the day 4 from the National Aquatic Centre here for the Irish Open. As I said, on commentary upstairs, I'll be leaving you tomorrow in the capable hands of John Kennedy alongside Nick Quinn. But from everyone here at HPV Studios, we really hope you've enjoyed the production today, brought to you by HPV in conjunction with Swim Ireland. Make sure to look at the Swim Ireland YouTube channel tomorrow from around 9:15 onwards for those day 5 heats, and from around 10 to 5 for the day 5 finals tomorrow. We're looking forward to bringing it to you. But from myself and Nick, for now, goodbye and best of luck.